Whole Niagara. I just popped 4 Viagras.
Oh
Damn.
God, I knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming? Fuck.
I've thought about popping a Viagra before.
Why?
Why?
Because
Because he has a girlfriend.
I've been in a kind of like a position like that before.
Where your penis didn't work?
Well, it wasn't coming through like it usually does.
How does it usually come through?
It usually is the homie and comes through every time, but there's been a couple times where it just doesn't pick up the phone.
So you want it to come for like 5 hours straight instead?
At least an hour.
I mean, every guy has thought about taking a Viagra and just having this like massive arm of a boner for the whole night. But I mean, I'm scared that, I'm going to do that. But, it's like if you're going to have an orgy, shouldn't you do that? If you're going to do at least one drug, shouldn't you do Viagra? I've never done it, but it seems kind of logical.
I've never done it either, but what I'm wondering is after you orgasm and finish, does the boner just go away, or are you just stuck with this rock hard thing until the pill wears off?
But it's dangerous if you take too much, because I had a friend back in the day who used to go to this bodega and just buy Viagra, like from a dude at the fucking bodega.
To save money or something?
Corner store. Well, I mean, he didn't want to go to a doctor. He was like a young man. He was like 25. Jeez. So I didn't know why the fuck he wanted to take Viagra, but he was bugged out. He would take, like, he told me the first time he did the Viagra, he took half a pill. He said it was bad. Like, he had like a crazy boner for like 10 hours. It was too much.
Off half of Viagra.
But he's a normal guy. He's like a normal young guy. So it's like, I think if you take a whole Viagra and you're like 65 years old, maybe you need that to get hard. But he's like a regular dude. So he told me that then after that, he would just bite off a little crumb of the Viagra and that was enough to make him go crazy. So I feel like if you have a normal sex drive, that like you might be able to take like a really tiny amount.
I wonder if he just has one Viagra pill that he nibs off like throughout the month. It just lasts him like about a month and a half or something.
That would be cool, but people never microdose drugs like that. Like, it would be cool if you just did like a little cocaine every day, like the tiniest amount, and like it had like a nice effect.
I don't think I've heard of microdosing coke.
No, you can't microdose coke.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't think microdosing Viagra seems like a great idea, but maybe it is.
I mean, it sounds better than taking half and being hard for 12 hours.
I've thought about opening a frozen yogurt shop where we put Xanax in the frozen yogurt. Okay, it's terribly illegal. You're right. We shouldn't do it. But even the employees don't have to know. We'll just do it, and then everybody will start to get that vibe of like, oh, every time I go get this frozen yogurt, I feel bad, laid back, and good afterwards. And also, it tastes kind of bitter and weird.
And then they go drive, and they're fucking everyone's dying in the car.
But you could make a lot of money for a while.
While killing people.
This is actually reminding me of something. I remember
it's a horrible idea.
I remember I went to go party in Santa Barbara at UCSB a long time ago.
Oh, God.
And I remember one of the weekends I left, like I came back to LA and I was telling my friend Chris, who I went to party there with, I was like, dude, I had the most magical time at this place. It was fucking crazy. Like I loved it. I don't know why it was so much fun. And he's like, dude, it's because I was mixing a bunch of Molly in the Coke the whole time we were doing it. And he didn't even tell me until I guess we came back. And I was just like,
Coke?
I used to. I don't know.
Okay, if you're sniffing Molly, I think you're sniffing Molly. It's different than fucking Coke.
But lacing it together, I don't know that I've definitely
he told me
done
it was a space line.
I've done a lot of Coke and a lot of Molly at the same time in the same night.
But
Molly just like tears up your nose. It fucking feels like you're throwing a.
My nose definitely felt tore up, but I just remember it was a magical, fun time, and I couldn't explain it.
You know what I can talk about with warm memories because I haven't done Coke in so long at this point is like, you know that thing where you do a lot of Coke and then you wake up in the morning and you either pick out a booger or you like just go like that and you just sort of like, oh, and you get hit by like a wave because the Coke that was sort of like stored in your nasal cavities, it like sort of like mixes with like phlegm and spit and stuff while you're sleeping somehow, and then it just fucking hits you, and it's just
I do that. I do it at night. I do the warm water.
I swear to God, I found like a quarter of a green Xan in my nose one time because I was so fucked up, and I went to mash up the Xan, this big ass green Hulk, but then I didn't do a good enough job. So
just taking the whole rock.
Yeah. So I like fucking somehow I don't know if it was green, but whatever.
That hasn't happened to me with Coke, but I remember when I was in high school, I one time thought it would be funny to smash up an ecstasy pill and try to snort that. And then later when I came home, I like blew my nose and the whole pill just basically went into my napkin. And I was like, what a waste.
One time I remember when I still used to do Xans and drink and shit, I came home from the bar and I was drunk as fuck. So I popped Xan because I was a fucking idiot. Trust me, kids, that's not a good idea.
Yeah,
do not
all
do that.
drugs are fucking terrible ideas.
Over.
But then I go in the bathroom, I puke my guts out,
Ew, and
But then
Good
I'm
time.
looking at the Xan in the toilet. I didn't pick the Xan out and retake it,
But you thought about it.
but I thought about it.
Did you think about the money wasted? Like, oh damn, it's $10 down the toilet right
It
there.
was more just the feeling of being fucked up that I was mad that I wasn't going to be able to get.
Experiences it.
Yeah, I wanted to experience that Xan at that moment, even though, you know,
my God.
realistically, like, fucking is a bad idea. Anyway, I just want
I
to.
love the way that we're starting this
How
podcast.
that was bizarre. How did we get on that? Oh, because you were talking
Talking
about
Viagra.
Viagra,
Oh, yeah,
because it rhymes
exactly.
with Niagara. That just shows how this could go in any different direction.
Have you ever
at any given
taken
time.
the like weird gas station pills?
No, I haven't. But there's a Rhino 69 pack in there that one of my employees gave to me, and I haven't taken them, but I've thought about
Was
it.
it you?
I've considered it as well. No, I think Tony gifted that to you for your birthday.
That was Tony.
I believe so.
I'm
I
gonna
forgot
sue
who.
him. That's harassment for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna
I
take
saw
that.
this thread on Twitter with this girl taking like sex enhancement pills for females, and she wrote this whole like essay about how amazing it is, and she wrote like a whole fan fiction about her and her boyfriend having sex on it.
That sounds like an ecstasy pill.
Wow, I like that. Wow, the reason why I just got distracted right there,
Yeah.
and the reason why I'm on my phone is because I was updating social media because Laura's taking notes right now, just so everyone knows. But House Fun said,
Took a
"Yo,
nap.
guys, I just woke up. Keep in mind, it is 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
I took a nap and I woke up too late.
Jeez.
SMH.
Oh my
What a
fucking
fucking
God.
turd of a human being he is, right? House Fun is so irresponsible. Like, do you think? Imagine if Rory and Maul are doing the podcast early in the day.
Do
And they
really?
still get up. I believe they do that. Like, you know, it's maybe at noon, 10, 11.
Yeah, it's
I don't
interesting
know.
because on I think
They can get up.
a couple episodes ago, Rory was saying how Maul was 30 minutes late or whatever. I was like, oh, I know what that feels like.
Oh, okay. But they don't do theirs live. So it's like a whole different like reason
Yeah,
why
I
they,
mean-
they have to be on time with it, right?
But
You
I
know?
feel like most people who do live streams, especially like, you know, big live streamers, almost everyone's late to the live streams. It's hard to be on time to a live stream, I feel like.
But
There's
isn't
always
that
something
so
that
crazy?
pops up.
It's like, shouldn't you like?
Wanna be on time?
It shouldn't be that hard, but it is for some reason.
There's
you know?
always either a technical error, a human error. There's always something that happens that you know, stops you from going
you have
live
to
on
jerk off 6 times.
time. Sometimes you gotta, you know, take
Has
care
that
of that.
happened to you? Are you a compulsive masturbator?
I used to be, but I got rid of that habit. I would not want to jerk off before going on a podcast. I feel like that's like jerking off before a football game. I feel like the stored cum gives
You
you
want to
know,
bring
energy.
more sexual energy to this environment?
that? No, I feel like it
want
brings
less.
regular
Yeah.
energy, not sexual energy.
I really am. I want to worry less about you having to bust a nut in the middle of this.
Heard about you on this table.
Nothing.
He's gonna get so mad.
House phone already made an apology and announced what exactly what happened. And
So
he
you
said,
didn't smash on this table?
I did not. I would never.
If he did, would you care?
It really depends. Well, to be honest, it's
After
like
hours.
if he was able to do it after hours and I never found out about it, then I don't care. If you're stupid enough for me to find out, then I'm kind of annoyed because it just seems like it should be so easy for you to not have people find out about your.
What about
late
the
night.
OSS bathroom?
Oh, it says
now,
bathroom.
now knowing that I have my own apartment, we don't have to worry about these problems. any
Wait, but you
longer. And I
smashed, you smashed in the bathroom
no,
at the store?
no. I don't know what she's talking about. It's
We should talk
it
about that
happened a
topic.
long time ago.
You did, though. You did. You smashed in the OSS bathroom one time? I'm not mad.
Yes,
A lot of people have, I'm going to be honest.
That bathroom
Okay,
is fucking
yes.
disgusting.
Me and Lena and Riley
needs
Reeve,
to be
we filmed a
sanitized.
porno in there. Like, not a real porno, but
What
an iPhone
dingy
porno.
alleyway bathroom porno.
Why did I
That was
say
a dirty bathroom, yeah. Who the hell did you bang in there?
old friend. I
An
guess.
old friend.
And all.
I don't know how to describe her.
Do I know her?
No, you don't know her. But actually, she found out about me through the no jumper. You know,
That's how you get all your
yeah.
girls.
Would you get any pussy? Would your dick ever get wet if it wasn't for the show?
I wondered the same thing sometimes. To be honest.
Thank God
your
you
life-
found us.
Dude, I know, seriously. You know what's funny? Now that I have this girlfriend, we always talk about like what brought us together, and it's either No Jumper or Aaron Carter.
Why Aaron- oh, that's the only reason she
That's the only
watched
reason
it?
why she watched it. So Aaron Carter brought
But
us
she was
together.
she was a fan of No Jumper before, no?
She was, but she's not like watching all the
Right.
content, you know, consistently. She told me she like specifically watched because of the Aaron Carter thing. So,
Wow, that's so cool. Why does she even know who Aaron Carter is? And she's young as fuck.
well, I don't
Isn't she
know.
underage?
She seems
I
to be
just
like
wanted
Your
to say
girlfriend
that.
underage?
no, she used to be into. Remember Keenan and JC?
She
What?
just doesn't even care that I said that. How old is she?
22.
Okay.
What was the group?
Kean and JC, yeah.
O2O. They were like,
Yes.
she was a fan of them. She's
She
like a fan.
was.
She's a fan of boy bands and stuff like that. So
Wow,
I
that
can
is-
see her being a fan.
That
of,
is
you
so
know.
funny because I am so curious about that because Lena did the Kean and JC reality show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's weird because they're grown men, but they have like a young female fan base for whatever reason, and it's like kind of hard for. But I went back and watched a bunch of those videos of them as like a YouTuber boy band group, and it's fucking weird.
Oh, that's where their like startup came from.
They have a song.
Crazy.
Stan Smith sings the song, so they don't. Nobody in the group.
Stan or Sam?
Sam.
Sam
I don't know anything about this dude. Am I saying the right person? Because it might be somebody else. I might be just saying the wrong person.
He's like from London and.
Spam Smith.
Definitely don't know him.
Sam
That's
Pepper.
not it.
From
Sam
London.
Pepper.
From London.
Oh God, Sam Pepper.
There's a famous recording artist whose name I can't remember. I think it's Sam Smith. Fuck, it might be. It might not be. Somebody in the chat's gonna have to tell us. But
It's
anyway,
the dude who's mega famous right now. He has the popular
he's
song.
huge.
Yeah.
He did a song, but when he was a nobody YouTuber, he did their song for them as a group. They don't sing the song. They go on stage and they do like weird fucking body.
Oh my God, it's
and
so
they
weird.
I
play
need to
the
see
song.
this.
And it's like, but it's so weird because it would be like the equivalent of like, getting Adele to sing the No Jumper theme.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Adele
And then
becomes,
she blows up.
but she does it when she's nobody, and then she becomes Adele. It's very strange.
I
to
wonder if
imagine.
that helped them at all.
So Sam Smith sings it, but they go and dance. I'm
They just
confused.
go up
Oh
on
my
stage.
God.
Yeah, it would be like me, Yuri, and 3 of my friends, and for some reason we're just a group of YouTubers. And then like
This is so
we have a
weird.
song, and the song is like, "No Jumper is the best."
we have,
Adam
like,
and
choreographed
Yuri,
dances.
and Adam and Yuri, and House Phone, and we're all
But
here.
what's
and
the
we're killing
funniest part
it,
about
yeah,
their
man.
performances is they're not wearing the same clothes. They're just wearing everyday clothes. Their dance moves aren't completely.
They're not really
in
like
sync.
dancing.
Yeah,
And
they're
this
just
is
kind
what
of like
your girlfriend
halfway
was
dancing.
into,
I
but
guess
now
so.
she's dating you.
Yeah, so funny how the world works sometimes. But hold up, let's bring up something.
And Lena won $50,000 off of these guys.
That's
That's
crazy.
true.
45 because she gave away.
But
5.
let's bring up something. You
Also
keep bringing up the
taxes.
fact that my girl found out about me through No Jumper, but Blasey found out about you through No Jumper. So your relationship is based on No Jumper as well.
He was part of the Cam Girl Stan Army.
No, definitely
Exactly.
not. I met Blasey because I had mutual friends with him. You don't know anything about this girl. You've never met her friends.
Which
Yeah, what?
You don't know anything about her.
So actually, is that true? Or do you feel like you're in the position where she could be telling you anything?
Yeah,
like when she goes home, she has a
she
boyfriend
could
and a
literally
sugar
be
daddy.
whoever she wants to be. I knew Blasey, and we had mutual friends. He worked at a place where one of my really good friends worked.
okay, but
As you would
but
say.
Blasey himself told me that he had a crush on you by watching old.
I think
like
you're making
interviews
this
and
up
podcasts.
to make yourself feel better.
No,
But
I think
good
he
job.
said that.
He might have.
said
Good
that.
I mean,
job.
okay, it's very plausible that he could have known of you from seeing you on the podcast like a
But
long
I don't think he
time ago.
reached out to me like, yo,
Right.
hey, let's date. Fly
That's-
me out.
Bro, no one reached out like that.
Okay, Lena found out about me from watching me interview Dylan Francis because she's a fucking EDM
There you
nerd.
go.
Yeah, and then they.
It's like, are you subject to only finding people that you come across by chance? And like, in
Yeah,
the
I don't go to
world?
the bar, so
Yeah,
it's
me
like,
yeah,
neither.
no,
I'm gonna
we're
have to
just
meet
giving
people
you
through
a hard
clout.
time. I think you're taking it too
I have to
personal.
meet people through clout because my clout has it so that I can't socialize like a normal person.
I don't think
How
it-
about that?
Yeah, I don't
Or
think it's
use,
weird to meet people on Instagram. A
use
lot of people
Raya
meet
or Raya
people
or whatever.
on the internet
Logan
nowadays.
Paul got banned off of Raya.
That was so funny.
Really?
He
That's
told
funny.
us that.
For quote unquote dating Raya's like the owner's like daughter or something
Or
like,
like
that,
he
right?
fucked like one of the owners, like girlfriend. But that is so funny to imagine that like you're the CEO of Tinder and you're like, nope, get out, no way.
It's funny that he has like the CEO has enough time to oversee that, or like does someone bring it to him and they're like, hey, guess what? You know who just signed up yesterday?
Okay, but what are the odds that this guy also just hates Logan Paul for all the other reasons that so many other people hate Logan Paul, and that's why he kicked him off of it? Not that, like, I don't think Logan Paul is that hated at this point, but I mean, there are definitely a lot of people who have hated him at times and spoken out against
Do we
him.
ever talk about his fucking interview where he was like, the money's not too good right now? Did we talk about that?
He
When
said
did he
that?
say that?
What? You guys didn't see that?
Logan Paul?
Yes,
That's
him.
hard to believe.
Or was it Jake? I can't.
He's
I
making
get
so
the
much
two.
money.
I get
Maybe
the two mixed
Jake.
up.
Jake is
It might-
also.
yeah,
I
might
mean,
have-
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Jake
Well,
Paul.
actually, no. It might be Logan because he
It
switched
might
over.
have-
He switched over to the
can't
David
remember.
You're
Dobrik.
Honestly,
bringing
they're two of
bringing
the same people.
unverified reports to this podcast, and that is against
it
the
was
rules.
like a really big fucking thing on Twitter.
We just had Logan Paul in here yesterday.
with the
No, Saturday.
$20,000 watch on his hand.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah,
So-
and he has that chain that Aaron Carter gave him, isn't
I was gonna talk about
Wait,
it. The
ended
one
up
that
being
turned his
fake.
neck ring.
he? Yeah.
He had it with him. I didn't know.
Logan Paul is doing just fine. You know how much fucking money he
100%.
makes off YouTube, merch, brand deals?
He
It's
doesn't
like,
even have to make money for the next 5 years. Probably he's
and
still chilling.
The thing about him though is that it's like Logan Paul tomorrow could probably just do a brand deal for a couple $100,000 and then like pay for the next like however many months of his life, except that he takes private jets places and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I
actually
think-
maybe he does burn through money pretty fast.
I think it was that he just has no idea how much money he's spending, and then finally, I wish I could remember which brother it was, but one of them said it was the first time in his professional life where his business manager said you're spending more than you're bringing in.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe I have trouble keeping up with my Jack in the Box purchases. So it's like, imagine keeping up with a private jet.
Do you think that they might have like a special program for you at Jack in the Box, like a whale program, like the casinos do for people who spend a shitload of money? Like maybe you could get a special card where you get some free tacos every 10
That'd be
tacos
awesome.
or something.
I can live off Jack in the Box tacos, to be honest.
You really eat a lot of that?
I was streaming a couple days ago, and someone donated for me to buy like 6-7 tacos, and I ate all of them.
Wow.
And it was delicious.
I'm going to be honest. I was just telling my dad the other day because he was like hungry as fuck when we went to this Lakers game, and he was thinking about getting some tacos at Jack in the Box. And I was just telling my dad, they're like the worst tacos you've
They're
ever had.
actually
I
good
feel
tacos,
like your insides
though.
are like
They might
green
taste good
and-
in the moment. I'm willing to admit that maybe in the moment
They are
taste
kind of
all right.
greasy sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Why would you go to Jack in the Box when you can go to like a
Chipotle.
taco truck and it's the same fucking price?
It's
I
not
agree
the
with that.
same price.
It's like
It's
$1.
that much cheaper?
$1.50 or something.
The convenience also plays a factor where you could just drive on through, grab your food, and go back. Go home instead of like waiting in front of a truck and stuff like that.
I would way rather wait in front of a truck.
Yeah, I mean, if I eat Jack in the Box sometimes, but it's only when I am in full hate myself mode. Like I really have to like want to die in that moment.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been kind of stuck in a loop recently because I just moved into this new place and I have a Jack in the Box right down the street. So
Oh, no,
every
it's
time
close
I
to
leave
home.
work, I'm like, driving home,
It's
and
calling your
I don't know
name.
how to cook anything. I'm too lazy to cook, and it's right there on my way home. So it's just like,
I mean, you
get
are
it.
lucky because you're at the point in your life. Like I remember being like this too, where it's like you don't know enough to realize like how shitty you're making your body feel by putting all this terrible food into your body, and you don't really know any better, and your body is running at such an efficient rate because you're so young that you can just do it.
yeah,
You
I'm
make me
worried.
want to get you like a food program. What are they called? The meal program things.
My girlfriend's slowly gonna teach me how to cook, so
She knows how
my
to cook.
girlfriend.
she knows how to
He
cook a bunch
loves-
of stuff.
So she's valuable.
Very valuable
Interesting.
to my heart.
Me and Yuri were doing an Omegle stream, and
Oh my
some-
god! This is gonna be a cutout video on its own. Let's hear this fucking story. Yuri was just telling me this is amazing.
Okay, so Yuri's trying to sabotage
No,
me and my
no.
channel because I have more subscribers than him.
Propaganda.
So
Go subscribe to both of them, by the way.
Subscribe to me.
Cam
Fuck
Girl,
him.
Harmonious Man.
Harmonious.
So we
man,
go
thank you.
on. We show up to his house. He's late. He's running 3 hours late. We show up.
'Cause I was at work.
His computer's not working. His internet's not working. He can't sign into my thing. This and that. So we finally get on.
Omegle, for the record, is like an
Omegle.
anonymous service where it just matches you up with random
Exactly.
people, right?
Like
Yeah.
if you might know chat roulette in my day.
Roulette.
Roulette.
Is that the Korean way to say it? No, it's roulette.
And we have to also
Roulette.
bring up the fact that you
It's
were
the
wearing a
French way.
surgical mask during the stream.
It ends with ETTE.
It's the French way.
Roulette.
Anyways, so we go
Yes, the
through.
French way.
We go through first I don't know if you saw this viral video of the this kid getting
Oh,
tricked into
yeah.
saying Nick GUR.
I did not see that.
He went viral for doing that, and he went viral on Twitter and got his like profile deleted and all
And we
this.
found him on Omegle.
And so we found him on the rap category. He was reading lyrics off his phone, and he was just
oh
rapping.
yeah, that's true.
Well, what did he say? I
I
wish I
forgot
could
what
remember.
it was like some sort of like Rihanna lyrics or something like that. But
Definitely not Rihanna
he was
lyrics.
singing his heart out.
Yeah, he wrote his own lyrics. So we saw him. Then we go and find an Australian meth dealer.
Who's very upset when he found out that we were streaming. he was like, "You guys aren't recording, are you?" And we were just like, "No,
So-
we're not." And he got very mad.
So
later.
first of all, he everything that we wanted to do. So first he goes, "How old are you guys?" And we jokingly like, "Haha, 15." He's like, "No way, no. Okay, I'm gonna log off." And then immediately we're like, "No, please, sir, no." And he's like, "Okay."
He's just easily swayed.
Well,
So
she's wearing a
easily swayed.
surgical mask, so you could only see her eyes and this mask that she's wearing. So everyone would come across as like saying coronavirus and shit. But
Yeah, and then he shows us his fucking meth pile,
Yeah.
and he has like.
and I'm not joking. She's working on like a highlight video, but the bag of meth that he shows
He has like
is like
shards.
$20,000 or $30,000 worth of meth.
How do you know?
100%. I don't know. Like,
You know a lot about the street prices of this shit, huh?
Yeah, I don't know the dollar amount, but he had like this much.
and he
in,
had
like,
a bunch of
Ziploc
cash as well on
bags.
top of it. It was
And then
ridiculous.
he just flexes like this much Australian money, and then I'm like, "Are you smoking meth?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like how you Americans smoke weed and drink beer."
It's not. In
It's
Australia,
definitely
it's very
not.
illegal. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was like, dude, doing that in LA, big deal. Doing that in Australia,
Bigger deal.
huge deal.
Australia, the
It's
laws are so strict when it comes to hard drugs. You barely see anyone out there that seems like they do fucking hard drugs.
Dude, that meth looked good quality. Like I
Well,
don't know.
again with
how
this
do you know?
I don't know like how like
expert.
I've
don't know how he
never
got his
seen
hands
meth,
on that
so
much
I have
meth
no
in
idea.
Australia.
But it looked like a big rock
To
and
me,
white.
I'm pretty sure that I could sell you dummy bricks of meth. Like I'm pretty sure I could finesse you out of all your cash.
Like you think I'd buy fake meth from you?
Yes.
I've never bought meth in my life.
I know.
Then how do you
That's why
know
you seem
so
so
much?
confident in your analysis
It's
of it.
because he was watching Sinaloa drug cartel YouTube videos.
The majority of my meth experience comes from watching Breaking Bad, and I
accidentally
believe
doing.
And they're blue.
it needs to be blue for sure. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, he had the whack meth.
I always wanted to be the pink cocaine guy, like a guy who just sold cocaine, but I just mixed a little bit of like pink food coloring in there or whatever, and just like
yeah, my friend wanted to do that and
I'm
then
the pink
sell
guy,
it,
the
sell
pink
it
Coke
in
guy.
little Hello Kitty bags.
right.
Make it go viral in LA.
Yeah, just have some really good
Just-
branding, dude.
Right? Make them different colors.
Hey, I'm working on this coke business. Can you
Yeah.
guys shout me out?
Yo, but I have all these good drug dealing businesses, right? Like the Xanax yogurt shop could go
That's
places.
a horrible idea.
I
I think food coloring like Coke is a lot safer than.
I feel like you're gonna have to sell the ice cream for like $20-$40 in order to make a profit at that point if you're putting Xanax in it.
Yeah, how much Xanax are you putting in?
You buy Xanax in bulk, they cost like $1 each, and it's not like I'm gonna put a whole bar in every fucking serving of yogurt.
You know what's crazy? People that GHP themselves.
GHB. Yeah.
We should finish the story before we get
Okay,
off
sorry.
topic.
So, no, I was just thinking about that.
No, yeah, keep going because this has
Okay.
an actual dramatic ending. I almost forgot that we were
Oh my
telling
god,
this story.
I forgot. Yeah, so then
So he's showing you his meth.
he's showing us his meth, and I'm like, oh my god, are you smoking fucking meth?
Mm-hmm.
And then I look over to Yuri, and I'm like, Yuri, is this okay? Like, is my channel
And
gonna
I
get
don't know.
deleted?
If I was streaming
And
on my YouTube channel, I would have shown it as well because it's so funny.
No, I feel like you would
risked it.
immediately covered it. And then he hears us say that. He's like, what? Are you guys recording? Are you guys fucking recording? And I'm like, no, sir, I'm not recording.
If you're this idiot, why
He is
are
so
you just
stupid.
giving somebody the benefit of the doubt that they're not recording? Like, if I had huge amounts of illegal drugs, I definitely would not want to show them on Omegle, regardless of if the person was live streaming.
That's what you would think, right? But
And I had his face,
I've been on
too.
Omegle a couple of times, and I've done a couple of Omegle streams for myself, and it's actually a common thing for people.
And you didn't show it on
for
your
people,
channel.
I did. For people to like go on Omegle and flex their drugs and do drugs with random people. It's just like people like to do it for some reason.
What drugs did people do when you streamed?
I saw one time I saw a stream where some dude was bagging up cocaine. And he was like putting cocaine into tiny little baggies, and he was doing it on Omegle. And some dude just came
Maybe
across
you're
him on
just
his live
so
stream.
board that you just when you're doing your drugs. I guess you don't
Yeah.
want to do it
I don't
alone.
do drugs.
No,
Not
from
you,
my
I'm talking about
experience
people
though,
that are streaming.
there is a weird thing. Like I remember when I used to do credit card fraud, and I felt like such a fucking. Keep in mind this is like 20 years ago, but like I felt like such a fucking genius for being able to pull this off and make money like this. But at the same time, I'm young and stupid. I found it like very unsatisfying that I couldn't like
Show
tell
people?
anybody about it, and that like everyone that I talked to, I just had to lie and just act like it wasn't even a thing, and like, oh, why do you have 5 laptops? Oh, I gotta like make up a reason, It's like, as a young idiot that I was like 19. I had a hard time like keeping it to myself. I wanted to tell people about it,
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's
And
like-
then as
Did
soon
you
as
go on Omegle?
as soon as I stopped doing it, then I started just telling people about it. Like, who the fuck cares? But no, I wasn't on Omegle. But I guess I could kind of understand that impulse that if you're some fucking drug dealer idiot, that maybe you want to
You just
just
want to show it off. You're just like, dude, I want to flex on someone
right.
anonymously.
Yeah, I did see some
an
comments in my chat being like, "Yeah, that guy's kind of a boss. Like he's literally smoking meth."
You know who's a real boss is the dudes who, well, I mean, to the extent that you could just be a boss and just sell meth, but the dudes who do it, keep it secret, make a shitload of money, and then at some point just stop doing it, and then take that money and start like a yogurt shop, and then they mix Xanax with the yogurt.
No.
That would be smart. That's my opinion.
Yeah, so then he loads up his oh my god, his
We
fucking
convinced him to take a
water
fucking
bottle
meth-
crack pipe. It was
yeah.
like this, and then he had like a glass piece coming out here, and like it was insane. He loaded it up, starts smoking the meth, and taking the biggest fucking
A
like
huge hit.
yeah, it was like
And then Cam girl's like, "How are you gonna go to?" It's like already
I'm
like
like, you're-
it's like 11 p.m. or
you're
something.
about
like
to
that.
be awake
She's
for
like, "How are you gonna
15
go to sleep
hours."
like that?" And he's like, "I take a dab or I take a hit like this and go to sleep every day."
he's like, I'm
Right.
about to go to sleep in 10 minutes.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're a real meth head, I don't think it's that big a deal. Like
Really?
well,
It was a
You think you
big
get
hit.
immune to like the non
Yeah,
being able to sleep?
kind of, because like
That's
I
insane.
had a friend who told me that both of his parents were just straight up meth heads. That they would just fucking do it, go to work, come home, do some more. is what it is. Like
Jeez.
it's just part of their life. Like they're just used to it.
insane.
It sounds insane, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like for every person who's a drug addict that is like running around naked on the street and ends up in jail, there's
Yeah.
a whole bunch more that
Like,
are able to hold
functioning.
it together. And a big part of it is that they don't make enough money to be able to
Go
go
that
crazy.
crazy. Yeah,
you know, it's
exactly.
like, but then that's what I always happens with rappers is that like most rappers or a lot of rappers, a lot of people we know
Mm-hmm.
will pretty much do like as much drugs as they can get their hands on because they can't get their hands on that much.
Yeah.
And then they quickly like get to the point where they can afford a lot of drugs. So then all of a sudden they're just doing a lot of drugs because they can afford a lot of drugs, and it just goes crazy from there.
Yeah, I guess if you do so much of one thing, you get less.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I had
People
a
are always like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you can smoke weed and drive and
no,
fucking
I had a
operate
friend that would
machinery."
in college that would take DMT and go to class.
Oh, that's
I'm
not.
like, you're fucking
Was he
insane.
microdosing?
I no, this bitch was just taking.
Wait, actually, no, hold on.
smoking it.
That makes sense because DMT only lasts like 2-3 minutes. You can literally take DMT and then go drive, and you're gonna
Right.
be perfectly fine.
That's insane.
I would take DMT just so the first 5 minutes of class are really crazy. No, but I always talk to people who tell me like that they like did Xanax in high school and shit, and I'm like,
How?
I barely graduated high school and I was stone cold sober.
It was a consistent thing for me to take ecstasy and
Oh
go to
my God,
class.
this-
I had
shit.
friends that did that. We had
I
like
did that
we
every
had
day
pep-
for months. Like
every day for
I had
months.
like I've talked about this before. I had like a like ecstasy problem in like 10th, 11th grade.
How much were you taking?
Dude, I would literally come to school with like $2-3 in my pocket and come up to my friends and be like, "Hey, you have $1? Hey, you have $1? Get $10 and buy an ecstasy pill like every day."
This is
Jesus
legitimately like
Christ.
what homeless people do.
Yeah, but I did that in high school.
That's actually how bums get money for crack.
None of your friends caught on
At
to your dollar scheme.
Well, no. Luckily, one of my friends later on was like, "Yo, Yuri, this is getting out of hand. Like, you need to quit this."
Yuri, doing ecstasy every day is bad.
That's
You need to
insane.
stop. Oh, okay. I didn't know any better.
No, we got in a huge argument. I told him to fuck off, and then like later on, I was like, you know what? He's actually right. I need to take a break on this shit. And
Unthinkable. Finish your story. Talk about how you got banned. That's the exciting part of the story.
what's
That's
funny
about
is
the
it,
small-
Striked.
I
You
hate
got a
that.
strike.
I
the
didn't get strike.
timing. The
You
timing
did
is
it?
the
I
funny
didn't get
part.
strike.
But you got kicked off.
So what happened is then after I see the guy smoking meth, I'm like, okay, this is not okay for my channel. I have fucking who the fuck's watching. So we click around. We finally get to this guy called the Dog Father, who's like in a fucking scary ass motel, just with like, what did he have?
It was just a blanket on a table. He wasn't showing his body or his face, and he was just talking to a mic.
Yeah, he was trying to be funny, like, haha, you're hilarious. And he had like a voice. It seemed like he had a voice
Yeah, he
changer.
had, like, a voiceover
He's like,
thing.
want to play a game?
Right.
And we're like, okay, loser, let's play the game. And then he's like, open your front door. And then fucking
Oh,
Yuri's whoever
Roommate.
it creaks open. We're like, oh fuck, we're about to die. And then my stream gets cut off because
So you didn't get a strike though.
I
She got a warning.
Oh wow.
But-
Which is scary.
That's
I've
nice
never
of them
got-
to give you a warning.
The funny part is the timing because literally everyone who was watching was like
everyone
100
was-
plus people. DM Cam Girl and me a bunch of times saying like, "Are you guys okay?" All we heard is open the door and the
and
stream
then stream
cuts
got
out.
cut off.
Open the
Watch
door,
out for
baby.
the stream highlights, guys.
Wow, that's fucking crazy right there. I'm so glad. What are you guys doing on Omegle?
don't
What a
know,
weird thing to
man.
do.
It was her idea.
That's
I don't
Ryan
know.
Beckford's fucking favorite pastime too. You ever see that? That's
I love that guy. He's so
You
funny.
do? He posts
He's
that
so
shit
funny.
constantly.
Do you
You could
think he
find
just goes on like all day, every day?
I don't know.
You can literally just go into Omegle and expose pedophiles every day if you want for fun.
What do you mean?
It's easy. Just
How do
pretend to be
you-
a girl. Pretend to be a 15-year-old girl, and
How do
then
you pretend to be a
You
15-year-old
put like a
girl?
video screen.
it's
You have a
easy.
wig?
All you have to do is put the camera below shoulders, put a like a bra on or whatever.
Why
and
would you
then,
do that?
You
You should do
Say,
it.
put a bra on. Like I just got a bra.
He's like,
you
this
can
is
borrow
so easy.
Rena's.
And like, okay, but
Yeah, but
and then,
if he puts a bra on, I know it's not going to be a
But-
15-year-old girl.
right, but what am I
Okay,
gonna
maybe I can pull off the body. Of a
what am
woman.
I gonna do?
Like,
So what do I
hey.
do then? I get the guy to
You
start
wear-
talking to me, and I say, "Hey, I'm a 13-year-old girl."
No, you type. You're like, "Hey, what's up?" or whatever, and then he's gonna be like trying to like talk to you, and then you'll just like lower a bra strap or something, you know.
You know what? You should do this for a live stream. And
I am gonna do it for a live
$2
stream.
for like the bra strap.
I
down.
literally called my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, I have a great idea. Can I borrow a bra?" And
Oh,
she's like, "Oh,
God.
what for?"
So that you could expose pedophiles. But then what are you gonna do once you get a guy to start hitting on you? And isn't he gonna be able to then say, "Well, I didn't think it was a young girl. I thought it was just a grown man wearing a bra." What are you gonna do with this evidence once you accumulate it?
Make content out of it.
I mean, I
Maybe-
just don't even know what to say sometimes.
What am I
man.
gonna do? Send it to the cops? They're not gonna do anything.
But you know what is a hilarious thing is the fact that Cameron. I remember back in the day, probably 2006 or something. Cameron said that he was going to make his own DVD, his own show that was going to be exactly like To Catch a Predator, but it was just going to be him doing it. And everybody like, I remember at the time, like everyone was like, wow, like that is the craziest idea I ever heard, because just imagine Cameron doing that.
That'd be
just
random.
acting like a 15-year-old.
But B, it also
The
just... Cameron on Omegle pretending to be a little girl.
The fake one.
I don't think he's a believable little girl either, for the record.
Definitely not.
But then I think everybody at the same time then also thought, could Cameron just do that? Like, can you just make a show like To Catch a Predator? You could just do that to people.
What's his name did it before the FBI
Cameron
co-signed?
never came through with it. But now you have so
Everyone
many
does on
dudes who
YouTube.
do this on Facebook and YouTube who just have their own shows. And what I think is insane is that Chris Hansen was exposed or he had some kind of controversy. He lost his job.
He didn't pay his taxes or something.
It was just that. It wasn't anything creepy.
It wasn't anything creepy. It had to do with the money.
But that's not why the show. That's why the show ended.
I think it had something to do with that, but he still has like FBI connections. He still has a YouTube channel where he live streams trying to expose people.
Because he's been going hard on the Onision thing. He
Yeah,
went to
exactly.
Onision's house to expose
And then
him.
in the Onision videos, he talks about how he still has FBI connections, and he's like calling them about the Onision shit.
Did you hear the fucking phone call that Onision did to the 911? He's like, "There's someone in my yard. He's harassing me and bothering me. Do you know who it is?" Yes,
It's Chris
Hansen.
I remember that. Wait,
That was so fucking
I remember
funny.
Chris Hansen started that TV show before the FBI police co-signed. So I feel like anyone can just expose pedophiles.
But it's
you
weird
could just
because
be any vigilante could do it.
I think every episode of To Catch a Predator I ever seen he has the cops waiting outside the house, right? But I mean, you could just pay off-duty cops
That's
to
true.
do that,
you
right?
could do that as well.
It's kind of a weird concept. Like I could just pay off-duty cops to arrest whoever I want.
If
I
everyone
could
just spends
prove-
their pastime exposing pedophiles, we'd live in a better world.
Yeah, but they should expose
Everyone.
They should.
I agree that they should definitely be exposed, but I don't know if everyone. Like if this was like America's pastime, I feel like it might cause a lot of problems as well.
And I don't think they should be exposing them just for content.
Right, for content.
Fucking
Like
asshole.
that's the weird part about that is that you clearly did not have any concern about any sort of noble mission.
Yeah.
You were just like,
You're
wow,
trying-
it was great content.
You're not trying to keep the children safe.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your fucking YouTube.
Well, even if you're helping out homeless people for a YouTube video, you're still helping out homeless people at the end of the day, right?
When Blueface threw the money up in the air,
I wouldn't know. I
You're
wouldn't
still
do
helping
that.
homeless people.
They still got some money in their pockets. So yeah, it was
They
fucked
did,
up
but
of Blueface.
you could still have an opinion about the way that it's done. Like,
No,
I mean,
100%,
a lot of to be honest, it's weird because like I used to watch To Catch a Predator all the time on TV, but I have no desire to watch any of these dudes who have like their independent channels tracking dudes down because it's
That's
just
true.
sort of like it just feels kind of creepy. And also, I see episodes of To Catch a Predator on YouTube all the time, and I don't bother to click it because
I feel like if some dude was in a room with like some girl and Cameron came in, he'd be like, "Yo, Cameron." He wouldn't be like, "Oh no, like I'm exposed."
He's like, yo, Cameron, I fucking love you. Nah, fuck you. Oh, well, thank you, but fuck you. Can I get a pic? Nah, all right, let's get picked. Nah, fuck you,
Can't
you're
imagine
arrested
Cameron being the new Chris Hansen like that. What if that was like his legacy?
now. Yeah.
He left
I mean,
that.
but to be honest, like the joke kind of gets old with To Catch a Predator after a while because it's so entertaining to watch them lie about what they're doing, but then it's kind of like once you watch it like 10 times, you're kind of like they all say like exactly the same thing. I had no idea. Well, what about these text messages? It's just kind of like
Why isn't there a To Catch the Predator reverse?
little kids catch. Wait.
No, I mean, women
Predators?
looking for younger dudes. Why is there only dudes looking for younger?
Wow,
you know-
I love that idea, but also, are there like chat rooms full of like fucking older women trying to find little boys? Like,
I
does
bet
that
go
exist?
to cougars.com. I bet you it's all 18-year-old dudes signing up, and it's all 40-year-old women signing up.
I don't want to get cease and desist from whoever owns cougars.com, but I don't think that that's a safe assumption. I just doubt that
That is my
there's.
assumption.
Do you think that there's like spaces online where women are congregating and talking about how much they like looking at like little boys? Like, I guess it has to exist.
There's
It
6 billion
exists
people on
if
Earth
you
that has
look
to
at like
exist.
the teachers that get fucking arrested
yeah,
for
yeah, it has
fucking
to-
their
In
kids.
In my
fucking
elementary
their
school, I
students.
found out that one of my teachers ended up being caught for sexual like assault or
Why
predation
is there
on
always a teacher
kid.
in like every single campus?
I didn't even have a hot teacher. Never mind, like a teacher was. Oh, there was.
There
a
was like
true-
2 teachers in my high school that had like
You were attracted to?
Relations. No,
There was-
relations with students, and
Really?
I got fired.
2 of them?
Yep.
Jesus
It was
Christ.
creepy as
But
fuck.
there was one teacher who was definitely not hot, but then like we found out that she was fucking students. But our reaction was more
Really?
like, ugh, like we like shamed the students
Yeah.
because we're like, why the fuck are you like, why would you
She's
bang this
ugly.
ugly ass teacher?
Oh my god. Maybe
Which I now it sounds kind of fucked up, but at the time that was our reaction.
to
Was
level
like,
to level up in class.
you're nasty as fuck. Like she's gross. Like why did you bang her?
Maybe he passed
You
with the
like
flying
knew
colors.
you had friends that fucked the teacher.
They weren't like my friends. They were just people that I went to school with, and
That's
then we just
crazy.
mocked them. We were like, "Holy fuck! Why would you bang this ugly ass teacher?" Like, it's not like we really. I don't even know if there was a teacher that I thought was hot.
I had a high
We had,
school
like, one
teacher.
hot
like,
substitute teacher.
Nashua is just not where hot women in their adult years
always,
choose to live.
You always talk about
He
how
always
Nashville doesn't
talk
have
about
any.
everyone's ugly.
Yeah, everyone's ugly.
I feel bad, but I'm it's just straight up. Like, if you are a pretty girl, like, you're gonna turn 18 and you're gonna leave. Like, you're gonna go to college, and then you're gonna be like, you're gonna finish college, and you're gonna be like,
I'm not gonna go
am
back
I gonna go
there.
back to Nashville, or am I gonna move somewhere else? I think I'm gonna move somewhere else. So I just, like, I do, like, my sister has this friend who I've known her since I was a kid. She's like my sister's age, so she's like 3 or 4 years younger than me. And probably the last time I ever went to the bar in Nashua was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I saw her at the bar, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, I can't believe you're here. I'm talking to her, and I'm like, so you dating anybody? She's like, no. I'm like, dude, like, are you on Tinder? Like, what do you do? She's like, no, Tinder is so weird. I'm like, look at the bar you're in. Like, there's like 15 dudes in here. Probably almost all of them are addicted to drugs, have felonies.
and sit there all day every day.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you think you're missing out? Like, you think Tinder is creepy?
That's what I was thinking about earlier today. Is like, especially when we were talking about how, like, I found my girlfriend through No Jumper or whatever. Is like, through the internet, you're just able to kind of like expand your like possibilities.
Yes.
Not for sex, but possibility of just meeting people and
totally,
showing
yeah.
your face in general. It's like, you shouldn't. I hate how, like, some people are just like, oh no, I don't want to start on Instagram. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But you're like,
that's so
you're
stupid,
limiting yourself so much. You
Yeah.
know, opportunities, meeting, people that could be your best friends. Like, you're just limiting yourself in any way just by like staying off the internet.
New
I feel
best
like.
friends? That's why I have Instagram. New best friends. Maybe.
You don't know.
I know. I
A couple of the
do.
people in my Discord, I feel like I'm close friends with. I've never met them, a day in my life.
Oh, I've made all kinds of friends through this podcast. Yeah, I was with G Herbo earlier. I kind of feel like I'm like sort of kind of friends with him,
that's
right?
what I'm saying.
Sort of, kind of.
Thanks to the internet.
He tagged me on a story.
You guys are best friends.
It's gotta be
now.
good for something, right?
That's
We're
huge.
kind of friends. You
That's
know?
5 million fucking followers.
5. You knew. How'd you know? You were lurking?
I checked earlier.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird? I had this happen earlier too. Is that I mentioned I'm talking to Herbo about his album on the podcast, and I'm talking about the skits because there's one skit where like a dude. It sounds like Famous Dex. I'm pretty sure it's not, but he calls Herbo and he's like, basically saying like, yo, we just slid down on these motherfuckers and shot their car up,
Oh
blah
my
blah
fucking
blah.
God.
And I asked him about that. I'm like, what the fuck is up with that skit? And he's like, oh yeah, like that didn't make the album. Like that's just on the advanced copy that you have.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't end up using that. But I was also kind of like trying to figure it out. I'm like, so
Was
he
it
really
Famous
did
Dex?
kill a bunch of kids. That's why he didn't use it. No, he didn't say that. He was basically just saying that he didn't want to use the skits for that. But
I would have never imagined that G Herbo would be the type of dude to film like skits for like a rap song or whatever. I feel like I don't know. It just
No, a
seems
lot of
interesting.
rappers, they love skits and they love like acting in the beginning of their music videos
A
and
lot
shit.
of rappers love acting. You're right.
I'll be honest, I fucking hate the skits. I always
Like, to
skip.
be an
I
actor, I
skip
mean.
through all of them.
I mean,
Same, low key.
I'm
Unless
not-
it's like
I'm
an
not a skit
old Eminem
person.
skit.
there's so many like rap skits that I've listened to like 5,000 times, and I still don't understand why that was a skit or why it was
I like
on
all
the album.
Kanye's ones.
Yeah, but like
Kanye's good
a lot
ones.
of those Future skits where it's just like an Indian man in a convenience store just talking to some other Indian guy, and you're just kind of like, what was the thing that Future wanted us to get about him through this skit? Some of them I totally get, or like, there was a Cameron skit. Like I've actually tried to find this online, and if people at home could help me find this, I have just not been able to find it. But he's basically saying he's with a woman, and she goes into the bathroom, and then she comes out, and she lays on the bed, and he says, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I know you just took a shit."
What?
And she's like, "Yeah, so what?" And he's like, "You can't just lay in my bed after you take a shit."
Oh
And then he
my
ends up
God.
kicking her out because she laid in his bed after he took a shit.
God.
I don't understand. Why is this like? What does Cameron want us to know about him based on this skit?
That's me
I
for
think
comedic
he's also
purposes.
just really funny.
It is pretty funny, but it's also just like, I mean, rap
Maybe
was...
have like Versace fucking no blankets, and he's just like, no, you can't get, you can put your fart butt on that.
I'm sorry, but it's not like she's putting her asshole on the Versace sheets. And even if she did, if she's sleeping with you, let her fucking wipe her butt on the sheets, right?
Or get a bidet or something.
Or just trust someone. If you're going to have sex with someone, you should also trust them to be able to clean their own asshole, right?
Well, just having sex in general is kind of like a sloppy, crazy process that leaves everything a mess.
I know, it is actually insane now as a person who's basically been having sex with the same person for all these years to think about like all the nasty fluids that I was letting enter my mouth through like all the rampant gross shit I was running around
I
doing.
feel like you need 2 beds, like a sex bed and just a sleeping bed that you keep clean.
Wow, that's a lap of luxury right there. That shit doesn't
It
sound
sounds
too
like
bad.
you want to have sex and like, when people put the plastic on their couches, lay that down first.
Would you do that? Would you do that?
No, that sounds uncomfortable.
It defeats the whole purpose of having a couch. And I say this as a person who, my cat has peed on my couch. A female porn star recently squirted on my couch, and I mean that's basically piss.
Yeah, correct.
Lena's probably shit her pants on the couch. I don't know. I mean,
why probably?
I don't know. I don't know. I just assume that she
Is this
probably.
couch
does.
ever clean?
I don't like those couches because they're not very comfortable to sit on, and they make weird like squeaky noises.
What's the point? Why not just get some chairs? I'd rather have a blanket on the ground.
Yeah, or lay down a blanket on top or something.
That is
make
insane.
It more comfortable.
That's psychotic behavior. I feel like you only do that if you're like a grandma in Compton.
I would just use the couch and make it used, and then just get a new couch.
Yeah.
Time to you have to live with it.
And what, replace the sex couch every month or 2 months?
What?
Sex couch?
Wait,
No.
what are you talking about?
Wait, what? How are we going to protect our sex couch?
We have a sex couch?
You guys together have a sex couch?
No, actually, contrary to popular belief, Yuri and I have not ever had sex.
What the popular belief?
Yeah, people always hit me up like, "Damn, I know you smashing Yuri."
No, okay, that's false. Probably.
On the topic of smashing,
Yeah,
Doja Cat wants to fuck Russ.
and more power to her.
Quote unquote, she wants to braid his hair endlessly for hours.
That video was so weird. I'm a really big Doja Cat fan, and I know that she has a boyfriend who she's very in love with.
Do we still not know who he is? All I know is
his
he's
name's Johnny Utah.
But what does he do again? He's a somewhat
music.
notable white man. Maybe she was joking. Do we think she was trolling?
She definitely seemed like she was either very tired or drunk or off drugs.
She actually spoke about this. I was doing my research before this. People accused her of being on drugs. She says she doesn't do drugs, but she was wasted.
I don't think she does coke.
Wasted the night before, and she was like super hungover.
That's believable.
That's what she's blaming for why she.
Because her dress was all wrinkly. Looks like she just woke up. So.
Hey man, even the female rapper pop star bitches are allowed to look just kind of shitty here and there, right?
They can't always look all the time.
I mean, look at Cardi B. She's a fucking smoke show, and she's looking like trash on her Instagram live half the time. I mean, she's on there with no makeup and shit. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
That's true.
Doja Cat goes on live a lot with no makeup on and shit.
I think it's great. I think it's actually weird as fuck when you have like these Instagram models that you only ever get to see in their most pristine condition.
Yeah.
That's weird to me now in this day and age. It's like you have to be able to go on camera at least not fully done up for me to believe that you're not a total catfish. No, Kim? Because you wear a surgical mask when you don't have makeup on, let's be honest.
Not anymore.
Would you
Not
post
anymore.
a picture on
Past
Instagram
that.
without makeup on?
Yeah, sure, why not? I go on Instagram Live and stories
Would
and
you
stuff.
Facetune the fuck out of it?
Ha ha. Ha ha. Maybe. No, I would just smooth out my skin.
But I respect that because somebody like Tana Mongeau, she will post crazy.
She gets CGI animators to fix her thing.
I mean, basically, she will post photos wearing crazy levels of makeup and super smoothed out with Facetune, et cetera, et cetera. And then she'll also post shit where she's just fucking, nothing.
Did you see the video where H3H3 kind of like puts all the Tana Mongeau pictures like side by side, where she looks on how she looks on Instagram and how she looks on Instagram stories or like other people's stories?
That's so mean.
I feel him for wanting to point that out, but at the same time, I think you just kind of got to accept that you got to let the girls do their thing and that you're going to look like an asshole psychopath if you're the one drawing attention to it,
It's a hater.
True.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
It's mean.
but it's weird because it's like, okay, on one hand, it creates a sort of like false image of looks for little girls because little girls are looking at this fake version of beauty and thinking that that's achievable, and they don't necessarily understand that there's Facetune and makeup and surgery, etc. But at the same time, I mean, what? You're going to tell Tana she's not allowed to use Facetune if she wants to? No, of course, she's an adult. She's allowed to use Facetune if she wants to. I think that the thing that's kind of fucked up is like that kids are sort of affected by it. But at the same time, I feel like somebody like Tana's super honest about it.
Yeah, and I feel like what you said about, you also show your barefaced self to offset the fakeness.
Mm-hmm. Just so relatability.
I mean, it's kind of like I am totally down to hear a rapper talk about selling drugs and shooting people and every other bad thing on earth if they're going to talk about both sides of it. Because if you're going to talk about shooting somebody, I want to also hear about how you felt afterwards. I don't want to just hear you be like, and I shot a motherfucker, rah, and I sell drugs. Rah. It's like, that is boring. We need depth in 2020. You know, it's like I want to get the full scope of things. It's like, if a girl's gonna post the Facetune shit, I think she got to talk about Facetune shit. Like somebody in Tana's position who is communicating publicly like that. It's like, which I think that's what's dope, is that she really, say what you will about it, she ain't exactly bullshitting with her audience. I mean, she might have had a fake husband, but I mean, she's not exactly like faking a lot of other stuff, I don't think.
Yeah, she's very open about her life, her drug use and all that stuff, her partying lifestyle and all that stuff.
We need that. Do we have actual stories that we should talk about? I feel like I have some. Oh yeah, as long as we're talking about the Paul brothers, are you guys familiar with what happened over this weekend? This is hilarious.
It's crazy.
So I do the
One Direction.
I do the Logan Paul interview Saturday morning. Sunday night, Jake Paul is in Vegas along with everybody else for this boxing match that I was not at because I did not care or know about it. And so Jake Paul's in the lobby for the hotel, and Zayn from One Direction, which is allegedly a boy band, he comes walking through. He's allegedly famous. I don't know who I wouldn't recognize him besides maybe.
Yeah, probably me neither.
I probably seen him somewhere on a billboard.
I like Zayn.
So you know he is. I thought they were talking about.
I recognize One Direction. I don't.
For a second, when somebody was like Zayn from One Direction or whatever, I was like, Zayn Lowe was in One Direction. I was like, I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. He's too old. I can't believe you even thought that for a second. I'm like, you're so stupid, Adam. But yeah, so he's coming into the hotel. I mean, I'm imagining how this played out, but basically, Jake Paul is just being Jake Paul, hanging out in the lobby of the hotel, acting like a damn fool.
With his YouTube losers.
YouTube losers. That's what I like about. Okay, but anyway, Jake Paul sees Zayn and probably says like, "Hey man, come get in my vlog, Zayn. I fucks with you, bro." Blah blah blah. And Zayn just keeps moving, rushes past him. So Jake Paul goes on his fucking Twitter and basically says, "Hey, fuck you, Zayn. Blah blah blah. You think you're too good. Blah blah." Which okay, whatever. When I looked at it, Jake Paul had like 15,000 likes. Gigi Hadid, who is Zayn Lowe's. Zayn's girlfriend.
The only Zayn
who,
we know.
by the way, I can.
You didn't know who she was either.
No, I do know who she is because her dad used to always go to the same gym as me, and I would be like, "Who the fuck is that fucking
and
rich
Fuzi's
motherfucker?"
Famous lyric.
Yeah, no, that's Bella.
Oh shit, never mind.
Yeah, Bella Hadid. Hit
She's
me
the
with
one
that
that's
XO.
dating The Weeknd.
Right.
Yeah.
But is she still?
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't keep up with celebrity news.
She should be dating Fusi, to be honest. She needs a real man.
For the
You
real
need
clout?
a thug in your life.
His name's Rose.
Is it racist for me to sing along to that Tupac song that's like, I'd rather be a N-I-A? Like he spells it out. Sounds racist to me. I'm not singing it out. Nope. But you know what song I'm talking about?
I don't.
You little fucking kid. I hate you, Yuri, dude. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking this way.
Tupac. Check him out. Great
I
rapper.
like Tupac.
Great rapper, guys. I swear. Listen to him.
I just don't like you skating on the lines of, is this racist?
You're right. We shouldn't. And we don't have house phone here, so we really have no way to know.
That's why I'm looking over here.
Yeah. Okay. We have no way to know. House phone is normally our way of letting us know that we're all racist. What were we talking? Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he also wants like us to say.
Right. But he also wore a swastika hat on this podcast before.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that. That
facts.
was really weird.
When we were at the Nickerson Gardens with
Stop.
Nope. I'm gonna keep
That's
saying
an
it.
area.
It's a real name of a real place. You might not like
Did
the way
you
it sounds.
go there just so that you could tag it and say I'm here?
No, but I did go there and had a great time. But what happened was Tony's there, and Tony's wearing like I think it was like a shirt for his brand, the Gully Factory. So it's got kind of like a weird like anchor type logo.
Okay.
And straight up, like I'm standing there just playing Kadama with some of the dudes, and I hear one of the dudes from the projects just go to Tony like, "Yo, is that a swastika?"
What the fuck? Oh my god, dude.
Did it resemble that at all?
I mean, in the sense that it's like a line with like, you know, something coming off of the end, and there's like, it's kind of like a weird like X type. I guess I mean, it's okay. It's obviously not swastika. It might sort of resemble in shape, but I mean, we all know what a swastika looks like.
Maybe he has bad eyesight.
Depending on how Tony's dressed, he can look like a Southerner, like kind of like some dude from, you know, Kentucky.
Being a Southerner doesn't mean you're a Nazi. I'm going to stand up for all the Southerners and say, just because you look like you might be from down south does not mean that you are necessarily a Nazi.
Yeah, I was trying to hear you out. Then like it just my vision of Tony just kept like warping into this.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Neo-Nazi.
You guys weren't there, but so I took a piss in those projects. Like somebody just told me, like, yeah, you go take a piss behind this building, and like acted like it was no big deal. But then when I walked back, he goes, you know, you're probably the first white guy to ever take a piss here.
Oh my god!
And I was like, you're acting like it's no big deal, and now you're telling me I'm the first person who ever did it. Whatever.
You should be happy.
I was happy.
Well, back to the Gigi thing.
Gigi Allen.
Yeah.
Gigi Hadid.
Gigi Allen or Gigi Hadid?
Gigi Hadid.
Gigi.
Vote below.
R.I.P. Gigi Allen.
R.I.P. Gigi Allen. Yo, I can't imagine what Gigi Hadid would think of Gigi Allen. No, Jason, write that down. That's a merch idea. We take that famous Gigi Allen album cover, but we put Gigi Hadid in it. Like she's all cut up with Gigi Allen's tattoos and shit.
That sounds funny.
That's kind of funny, right?
Yeah, that is.
Has someone done that?
I feel like you would get a cease and desist immediately and for being a YouTube
Imagine
loser.
she would probably be so confused. There's no way that she knows
The
who Gigi
funniest
Allen
part
is.
about that story was Gigi's tweet where she said,
Yeah.
where she said, like,
Because that's all I
I forgot
saw.
what she said exactly, but one part kind of grabbed my attention.
I'm gonna get it.
She basically said,
You gang of
she said
YouTube
Zayn
losers.
is lucky enough to be with someone like me. She said something along those lines, and I was like, holy shit.
No, she didn't say
she
that.
has like
she
such
said
a high.
She said he's home with me, sweetie.
But I feel like the way she said it, it was kind of like he's lucky, like he's with me, so he won type shit.
Okay.
I feel like it came from a conceited standpoint.
Just for the record.
I feel like it.
Conceited. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get that because to be fair, I mean, like, you know, she's pretty like mad about what he did.
Calling his friends like YouTube losers, I thought that was more mean than her being like, he's
Yeah, I
home
know.
with
What's
me,
up with
sweetie.
no, just because you have a YouTube,
Okay,
you're a loser.
Let's be factual about what she said.
Yeah.
Gigi said, LOL, because he doesn't care to hang with you and your embarrassing crew of YouTube groupies. Now, to be fair, I don't know who was around Jake at this moment, but it's probably fair to assume that he basically had a bunch of YouTube groupies around him. Just like, you know.
And his employee, the
it's
filmer.
Vegas. It's just random ass people who are probably sort of clout munching off of him. But then she wrote, home alone with his best friends like a respectful king because he has me, sweetie. Unbothered by your irrelevant, ugly ass. Go to bed. Oh my God, I did not even see this shade. Alyssa Violet,
Yeah, I saw that.
FaZe Banks' ex, who also spent time dating Jake, responds, go off, sis.
Damn.
ILY. Oh my God, she's using the language of the fucking poetry center. Alyssa Violet is literally snapping her fingers and applauding Gigi Hadid.
The way she says, he has me, sweetie, just seems like, I don't know, like,
I don't know
calm
why
down.
you're so bent on that point.
Are you mad that she thinks that she should be as his girlfriend and as an international supermodel, that she should maybe demand more of his time and attention than Jake Paul, who to him is realistically just a random ass guy?
No, I feel like she's throwing herself on a pedestal.
I think she deserves to be on a pedestal. Let's be honest. She's
Okay,
his girlfriend.
Look,
Okay.
You are Zayn. No, never mind.
No, he's not.
No,
He's not. He's not Zayn. He's not Zayn Low. He's not Lil Zane. He's not Lil Zan.
She was standing up for her boyfriend because Jake Paul
that's
said,
understandable.
And because
dick.
Zayn didn't want to stand up for himself, apparently. I wonder if they talked about this before she sent this tweet, because I'm assuming she probably tweets.
They probably did talk about it.
For the record, again, like Jake Paul, from what I saw at that time, he had like 15, maybe 20,000 likes. She has almost 1 million likes on the response.
Shut up.
Damn, maybe I shouldn't say anything
now?
bad about the Gigi.
I mean, Jake Paul, for the record, did apologize for this, but Jake Paul is a master of basically doing things on social media and getting insane amounts of attention. But at the end of the day, the things that he does aren't necessarily bad enough to really stick with him in the long run. Like, do you think that anybody in like 6 months is going to be like, no, fuck Jake Paul, he said that mean thing about Zayn, blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
But in the meantime, everybody's talking about him. We're talking about him right now. I mean, it occurs to me that if I was a little bit more problematic, a little bit more controversial, I could kind of do that thing too. Because I mean, there's been times where I try to talk to a celebrity in public for whatever reason, doesn't work out, but my brain doesn't go to, oh, I'm gonna go on Twitter and call them out, and then like have their super famous fucking spouse respond to me or whatever, you know? And it's like, you know, it's
what
like,
if Jake like foresaw all of this? He's like, oh, perfect.
I mean, he apologized for this one.
He said he was drunk and never gonna go on Twitter when he's drunk again.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
which
Never mind.
I mean, to be honest, that's a lesson I've learned over the years. I used to get so drunk and tweet the dumbest shit like 10 years ago. Oh my god.
I need to stop
So
getting drunk
drunk.
on live stream.
Yes, you do. You need to
be
change your
honest.
life. Yeah, you definitely need to change your life. Like, it's just like it's not worth the damage that you're doing to your body when you make like $50 and you did like 18 shots. You know.
Yeah, definitely right.
Damn, you go all the way up to 18 shots?
At this point, I've built an alcohol tolerance.
That's crazy. He was trying to convince me to do like some like dollar amount to I
Take
don't know.
shots.
I was like, fuck no, I'm not doing that.
I mean, it's so funny when, like, think about Uber. Uber is just left with all these insane face tattoos that he got on live stream
my
for
God, that
donations,
guy.
but it's like now he's got to live the rest of his life with a fucking PlayStation controller on his face.
He got a CX tattoo, and he got Hampton Brandon's 10 Toes Down tattoo on the other side of the CX, like on the other side of his face.
It's so funny because now he looks like a gang member, but he's actually just a failed streamer.
Bro, did you see how he like even kind of like became famous in the first place?
Crying about his Twitch shit.
Yeah, he originally made a video where he's like, guys, streaming ruined my life. Like, I lost my girlfriend, lost my job. I'm basically a loser now, and it's all because of streaming. I'm never streaming again. This video where he's crying hits like 600,000 or 700,000 views, and then he got this revamp of people who like started paying attention to him, and then he started streaming again, and slowly kind of ruined his life with these tattoos and knocking.
But
his
he
teeth out.
already had the
Sad life.
tattoos when he made that video about how he failed as a streamer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he already had the controller and the PC, but he didn't have the CX or the.
Maybe he should just go all out at this point and just get his whole face done like Bosco or something.
He seems to love tattoos, so he might as well, yeah.
I think
How much do they have to pay him to get a fucking PlayStation controller on his face? Well,
I don't know.
$100?
Whatever it wasn't worth it because,
That's
man,
insane.
what a stupid thing to do. That is so crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes consider what would be like a donation amount that I would want to tattoo my body, and probably like $1,000.
$1,000, a swastika, your entire back.
No, the
No?
$1,000 wouldn't even pay for that, and I would never put a swastika anywhere on my
I
body.
would never put a swastika on my body. I am not racist.
Bro, no. Maybe I'd write someone's name on my butt cheek.
Adolf
or something.
Hitler.
No.
No? Okay.
Have you guys seen Jake Paul's new what is it called? Academy that he's starting?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you should join it, honestly.
I need to learn how to make some money.
Let's
To be
send
honest.
you in there. Let's
Oh
send
my
you
God, that would
I'm
be
down.
to get
amazing.
trained by Jake Paul. I
To
like
be
that
what-
idea.
Wait,
To
aren't
be
you
what,
scared I'm going to become mega successful and just leave the company as
for
like a
Team
millionaire?
10, yeah, Jake Paul. You know what? This is the guy. This is what my operation is missing. No? I don't know.
What if within 2 months I start making $300,000 a month off the Jake Paul method?
I mean, honestly, if that happens, then I hope that we can still be friends because that's a lot of money, and I just hope that you can help share the Jake Paul method with me if that does happen.
What is the Jake Paul method?
It teaches you how to be
A YouTuber or something, right?
financially stable on your own without going to school.
But does he like teach you like a business plan or
Maybe
like,
he tells you to do things like what you're already doing. Like he's like, accept money to take shots on live stream, draw with marker on your face for money on live stream.
I'd be like, yo, where's
because those are your best. Like that's your best. Basically, you're paying your way through life with that,
take
right?
1,000
at this point.
milligrams of
Shout out to all my
THC
donators. You guys are fucking helping a bunch. You guys, I'm broke.
to fulfill your Jack in the Box needs.
Yeah, I actually,
That's true.
I when I saw you on live stream that one time when you were getting blackout drunk and eating edibles, I was like, I thought about donating $10 to say something, but instead I tweeted your link because I knew that a bunch of other people would donate for you to.
Thank you
do
so much for
stupid
that, by
things.
the way. That was literally ridiculous.
Okay, so
because
if you really think about it, like when we used to get fucked up and stuff, we wouldn't do it for money.
Right.
Yuri's kind of doing it while, but also getting money. So is he actually winning in this?
and also I'm providing content. I feel like the real winners are the viewers.
Oh God.
Oh my god, providing content. You guys have such a.
Why are you Lena the Plug now?
He takes off the hoodie.
Shout out to Lena the Plug.
And wait, what is on your neck? What is
it's-
that like Hot Wheels
It's a pendant.
toy?
It's not a hoe. It's a pendant.
What is that?
It's a glass pendant made by Chris Hubbardson or Hubson.
But what
Chris
are you gonna
Long?
do with it?
It just it's just a pendant. You just
What does
wear
it do?
Who told you to put that on?
This is
Where,
worth like
where on
$300.
Venice Beach did you get
300?
that?
Yeah.
It's actually really difficult to make. It's
Let me touch
faceted.
this.
It's
Oh my God.
faceted?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to hypnotize
What does
me or
faceted
something?
mean? It's multifaceted?
It means
This is so weird.
it means you have to put those
Is this
sides and you
supposed
have
to be a
facet the
skate,
glass.
like when your skateboard wheel falls off, so you put this
Oh
one
yeah,
on?
that's what that
No.
is. That's
This
a
is so
bearing
weird,
for
I'm
It's
sure.
just
sorry.
it's just a pendant that you wear just to like you see these things right here. They're faceted.
But wait, so you wear this so that your girlfriend won't break up with you?
Yeah, it's our promise necklace
That's
that
really
she gave me.
nice. Yeah, that's great. Wow, what a weird thing you have there.
Interesting.
I don't know. I feel like whenever I wear this, I have a good day. So that's why I'm
Oh,
wearing it.
you make me so happy.
When was the last time you
sometimes.
had a bad day?
When my cat died, like
Oh
2
my
days ago.
god! All of a sudden it gets real as fuck.
Yeah,
Damn, that
that
sucks.
was
I
really
honestly
sad.
like I didn't realize it was gonna hit me so hard, but like I was
Really?
like crying like for a while. I was like
Aw,
super
I don't want to
sad.
think about my.
I already
Dude.
know how hard it's gonna hit me when my cat dies, and I'm upset in advance thinking about it because it's like
That shit sucks.
the
Same.
fact that I have had a lot of like actual real life people I know die and that I didn't cry, and that then when my cat dies, I guarantee I'm gonna turn into a baby is gonna be like that's gonna be kind of fucked up. Like I love my cat way too much.
Yeah, I think about it, and my cats aren't even 1 year old.
Isn't that weird?
I didn't realize
don't-
how like
yeah.
big of an effect it would like it would it literally feels like a family member.
How long
passes
do you
away.
have it?
I got him when I was in 2nd grade in 2002.
That's crazy.
See, this is one thing. I had an ex-girlfriend who got a cat when she was born, and then like this was way back in the day. So she was like 21, and her cat was like dying because she had it like since she was born.
That's so sad.
And I really kind of like that timeline there because it's like if you get a kid a cat when they're born, then
they
like
grow together.
They
the
live
cat-
18 years at
and
least.
they've kind of like become an adult around the time that the cat is likely to die because most cats live to be like between 16 and like 21, 22 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that like that teaches a kid a lot. Like myself personally, I was a late bloomer to the cat club
Same.
because I never had a cat. My parents were allergic. Then I get a cat when I'm 22 and it is just no holds barred. Like I am like, oh my god, this is the most perfect thing ever. Why did I not have this before? Like it's like a cartoon character that just follows me around the house. It's so amazing.
Dogs have too much energy. Like I don't like the idea of
Yeah.
coming home and having like some
I
animal
love
come up to me
it.
going,
I'm-
just
Yeah.
like breathing in
Really?
my
It
face.
makes me
Dogs are the
so
ops for
happy.
sure. No, I
Yeah.
can't fuck with dogs.
No, they
A
make you
cat,
feel so welcome to be
perfect
back
level.
home.
Ops. I shoot at dogs. No.
You said what?
No, I'm just kidding. It's a figure of speech. No, but that's how I feel too, and that's what I feel from the people in my life. Like when I walk in here and I see you, you're like, "What's Adam? What's up, Adam? How you doing? Good to see you." If you were like, Adam, I'm so happy to see you. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. I'd be like, bro, Yuri, you gotta take it down a notch. Like
Exactly.
I've had this conversation with Laura. I've been Laura, a little too high energy. We gotta bring it down. We chilling, okay? Like you can't be too excited. That's how I feel about dogs. They're too excited to see me. It's
I
like
You can't compare
Exactly.
just chill,
humans
dog.
to dogs.
Yes,
they're
you
not supposed
can.
To they're not supposed to act the same way.
But I'm talking about what energy I want around me in my
Yeah.
life. I
I
see
like
my
dog
cat.
energy.
I see my cat. I walk in the house. He's laying there. He's sleeping. He goes, "Sup?"
If you were
Exactly.
dying, your cat wouldn't even look twice. But if
He
you
would eat my
That's what
body.
that's what they say, but is that even proven?
Yes, it is. He would eat my corpse. If I die in my house and nobody comes, my cat, over time, if he has no other food to eat, which he would not because I have to give him the food, he would die. He would
And
eat my body.
You would live on through your cat.
I guess.
through the cat poop.
Maybe the cat would die from consuming my contaminated body. I don't
Imagine
know.
your cat just gets ridiculously high from the THC storage in your fat.
Is it fucked up that I want to know what that looks like? Like, I want to know what a cat is going to do with my decomposing body. Like, what is he going to go and start? What's he going to eat my nose?
I
'Cause
heard
it's
they
the softest.
They
I
start
don't
with
know.
the eyes because the eyes are the softest.
Do they?
That's what I've heard, but I feel like these are
Cats or
rumors.
just-
I've never
or
seen
just-
any videos
or any
or proof.
animals. Period.
Oh my god.
But you know what?
This is a
That's what
scary
they said
thought.
is that your dog will sit next to you and
Yeah.
die with you.
Isn't
That's
that
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
But
Shout out to dogs, man.
is that true?
100%?
I don't know. I don't even care to fact check it. It makes sense
That's
to
what I'm
me.
saying. Why do people believe these things?
I've
'Cause
done
it
little
feels
tests
good.
with
Dogs
my
can be
animals.
assholes too.
Dogs can be assholes. Yeah, no. I mean, and there's asshole
No.
cats. Let's be real. There's bad cats.
100%. My cat has his good days and it will had his bad days as well. Where he'd be a dick.
My
Yeah.
cat, when I got him, was not so great, and now he's really great. He was a fucking prick. He wouldn't let you get near him, and then over the years, he
Same.
softened up so much.
Same.
I think they just get older and stop caring. They're like,
Exactly.
Fuck it.
But my cat used to be like hide under the bed 8 hours a day and just not
Really?
want to fuck with anybody. Now it's
Super
literally like
antisocial.
me and Lena like we'll like get done eating dinner, walk away from the table, lay down on the couch, boom. 30 seconds later, he's just
Aww.
And then he's just on top of you, like he's
cute.
he's worse with her. Like she'll be watching TV, he tries to sit on her fucking
my
face.
God.
I
He's
love that.
on her neck. It's crazy.
Dude, I had like a 2 or 3 year period where every day when I would like lay down to go to sleep, as soon as I lay down,
Your cat would go on your
I would
face?
hear my cat jump and go under my armpit, and we would fall asleep like
That's
that.
so
That
cute.
would be go on for like years until you just
I
stop
wish
doing
my
it
cat
randomly.
would do
That's
that.
why I'm excited to have a fucking baby, because realistically, I love my cat so much, and he's just a piece of shit that we found on the street in Brooklyn. A baby that actually emerges from my girlfriend's vagina,
That crawls into your bed and sleeps under your armpit.
made up of my DNA,
That sits on
living off
face.
boobs. That's hard, man. That's like, I don't know. Just having a kid sounds cool.
Remember
but-
like 2-3 years ago when you guys were talking about the no jumper baby that just stays in the studio and grows, like grows up in the studio or whatever?
just
Wait,
like
what?
he just has to live in here. Yeah, I kind of remember talking about that. But
It's like the store cat. It's
Yeah,
the
we have a
store
baby.
baby.
No jumper baby.
no, but then we're gonna have somebody who's just here all the time to sort of do it. And let's be real, like you can't be smoking woods around a baby. Like that's what.
Unless the baby's
Definitely
cool.
not.
No,
No.
At least he's a cool baby.
No.
a chill baby. A chill baby who's down with weed. No, but I see people with little ass kids that
I
like
know.
rolling loud backstage and
Yeah,
shit. And it
me
makes
feel uncomfortable.
you know, because I think about it, like if I had a 2 or a 3-year-old, am I gonna bring him backstage at a rap show knowing that there's gonna be
Definitely
blunt
fucking not.
smoke everywhere? I don't think so.
The
Like,
Rico Reckless interview.
I mean, that was next level. But okay, if your kid is 7, do you feel cool about bringing him backstage and rolling loud, even though there's people smoking loud weed everywhere? I mean,
I wouldn't-
at
I
7,
wouldn't
you
want
got to
to.
start living life, right?
Oh
7.
my god.
I mean, like you're gonna. I don't know. Am I tripping? Like I don't. If a kid's 7 and it's like it's not like he's gonna be hotboxing in the fucking van with Lil Xan. You know, it's like it's just people smoking weed. It's a fucking open air thing. I mean, let's be real. You can't walk down Melrose without walking by somebody smoking a blunt. I'm not gonna be stressing out if I got my fucking 5-year-old
That's
with me
true.
and we walk
Yeah.
by a guy smoking a blunt.
Dude, I remember when I went to Russia, I came across this like 10 or 11-year-old kid who was fishing with a cigarette sticking out of his mouth while fishing. And I was like, that's fucking
Probably
crazy.
so normal in Russia though, because there's nobody to stop him. And think about it: if you were 11 and somebody gave you a cigarette a couple times, you would be like, "This is great. I love this."
Well, actually,
It's almost like I'm addicted.
they're kind of disgusting the first time that you try it.
Yeah,
You kind of have to like
Yeah, they're
grow.
really
but even
gross.
as an 11-year-old, you know you're badass for smoking a cigarette.
That's
right?
true,
You
you're
know
right.
you feel cool.
Especially if you see your dad just like fixing something in the garage with a cig out of his mouth, you're just like, damn, that's lit. I want to
That's-
be that dude one day.
Yeah, I want to be just chewing on a cig. Dude. No, that's real.
Before we completely switch the Jake Paul Logan topic,
Wait, but there was something I was just gonna say. What
Oh,
the fuck
shit.
were we just talking about?
Bringing a kid to Rolling Loud.
Oh yeah.
and like
Cats.
yeah, the cats and babies crawling up into your armpit.
I give up. All right,
But
what-
I was
what were
gonna
you
say,
I love
Lil
my cat.
Xan released a music video 3-4 days ago.
I haven't seen it yet.
And Jake Paul is in the music video. He doesn't feature in the song, but Jake Paul is in the music video. I just thought that was very random.
I
What-
don't know. I feel like Jake Paul. I feel like Lil Xan would be someone who's down to be friends or cordial with Jake Paul.
Is Lil Xan making a comeback right now?
We'll know. We're gonna have to
Because he's
like,
he's slowly
we'll
starting to
know.
release more and more content.
That doesn't mean he's making a comeback.
It feels like
There's
he's
a lot-
he's building up to it.
he might want to make a comeback, but it's going to take a big song for him to make a comeback,
Mm.
and possibly also some sort of change in his lifestyle, because I don't think people are going to really be able to like get on board the like Lil Xan is back train unless he like seems like he actually really is not doing drugs anymore. And I haven't heard the new song, but I mean, I feel like for him to like be back, it's like he's gonna have to have like a big
The
fucking song.
Gucci Man makeover comes back with a 6-pack and
Would anyone care? Is Lil Xan
if
like,
Lil Xan gets buffed.
does Lil Xan have enough testosterone in his body to have a 6-pack? Like, can he become muscularly dense? I don't know. I would like to find out. But Lil Xan is always posting some random fucking girl that like barely posts him and stuff. Like some girl that he's like allegedly dating. I wonder what that's like.
I don't keep up with his love life, so I don't know.
I still
have
follow
no
him.
idea.
I'm
what
sorry.
happened to Annie?
isn't
Annie's gone. Annie
Annie's gone.
Smith. She
Long
lied about
gone.
that baby. We don't know. She might have lied about the baby.
is she still pursuing her YouTube career?
Who gives a shit? She got clout off of him. That's all I know. She
Yeah.
rode that little Xan wave, and then
Isn't it important to post your girlfriend or boyfriend on Instagram?
I mean, it's complicated because if she's a public personality and you're a public personality, then you should do it. If you're both nobodies, then you should do it. If you're famous and she's not famous, I definitely see the value in being like a Chance the Rapper or a J. Cole where they don't put their girls out there and stuff.
Yeah.
But if, like, you know, in my situation, it's like, if I didn't post my girl and my girl does pretty much this, well, I mean, she's does other things, but we have very similar careers.
Yeah.
Why am I not posting her? Am I ashamed of her? It's like weird as fuck. It's like, that's what's crazy about Valentine's Day is you see a lot of people's relationships that you wouldn't see otherwise.
That's true.
Like, I didn't know China. I didn't know who China Mac's girl was. Valentine's Day comes around, he posts her. Boom.
Aww.
I like the people who post pictures with their significant other and don't tag them. Like, yes, I love you, but no, you're not getting any clout.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
not even clout, just like a bunch of thirsty dudes DMing you. Like,
I mean, that's the whole problem. Yeah, because like, what if your girlfriend is not like ready for the emotional pressure of having to read death threats and shit, which is realistically what might happen if.
I posted a picture of the very first time ever on my Instagram. I posted a picture of me and my sisters, and I started instantly getting weird ass DMs saying like, "Oh, dude, your sisters are hot. Oh, your sisters." Dude, one guy DM'd me, "Your sisters can get it," right? I fucking click on his profile, and all his Instagram is pictures of his like 2 little kids who are like 5 and 4 years old. And I'm like, why the fuck are you coming to my Instagram like talking about my sisters when you have kids and shit? Like
weirdos online.
But you know what's weird too is that I remember one time Cam from Cuff Boys, he got mad at me because I said something about like thinking his mom was hot. This was like many years ago, and he kind of like he didn't appreciate it. And I was like, bro, I'm just joking around or whatever.
So
but when I think about it now, it's just like, you know, there's like certain things that maybe like you just shouldn't joke around about, and like wanting to fuck somebody's mom is like, maybe just don't make that joke. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but I was just like, you know, I look back on that and I'm like, oh, I was being reckless. Like, why did I think that was okay to joke around? I know that he doesn't like give a fuck, or he probably hasn't thought about it in years, but I mean, there is an extent to which I bet if you messaged that guy back and you were like, man, fuck you, that's fucked up, he'd say, damn, dude, I'm a fan. I was just fucking around.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to bother. I was like, I'm just going to ignore this.
Like, he might think he's funny, you know? Like, he does. He thinks he's funny for sure.
Yeah, he's probably thinking he was like being satirical or something, like funny, something like that. But
yeah. You know what I love now is that I restrict people on Instagram. So if they leave a comment I don't like it, I restrict them. And that's just so great because it's like, you're still following me. You just can't comment anymore. LOL.
Well, they can't comment. No one else can see it.
Right.
Oh.
And they don't even know they're restricted. Isn't that weird?
That's funny. That's actually really funny. Can I do that? Can anyone do that?
Yeah, you can do it. Who the fuck's coming on your shit? I don't know, but
you have a point there.
I'm just kidding.
You have to have 10K. Just kidding.
Hey,
I'm so close.
I'm ready. We're going to do another cutout clip right now. You ready?
Yes.
2,600 people are going to see this live. The store is closed. I want to talk about it. I want to make an official announcement. I want to talk about the fact that the store is closing. And this space. You're never going to see this space on video again.
This is the last thing filmed in here.
Even though this spot, now we can reveal the location. We're approximately a mile and a half away. What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the address.
We're on live stream. You can't say
I'm not going to say the actual address.
Okay.
We're approximately a mile and a half away on Santa Monica Boulevard. Haha, nobody ever found us. No, a ton of people found us, but nobody ever like showed up acting weird or anything, which was nice. But anyway, everybody wants to know why the shop...
Did anyone ever come to the parking lot?
The parking lot? No, I never even had anybody. I mean, I've definitely like had people around here say, "Hey, Adam, how you doing?" or whatever, but nobody's ever like.
One time, grabbing your Postmates, the Postmates guy was like, "Hey, can you tell Adam I said hi?" Or whatever.
Yeah, mad times. The Postmates driver asked me for photos out here, and I'm just like, no. Anyway, okay. So the store. I just want to lay this all out. Reasons why we're moving out of the store. Number one reason. Number one thing I want to get clear. The store is doing fine business-wise. The other day I was looking at the amount that we've brought in revenue-wise with the store each year. Store is fine. Store is doing so much better right now than it ever was doing in the past. But we have problems at the store. The problems are, one, that construction next door is insanely bad. Like,
it's gonna be going on for at least a year.
An extra year and a half, 2 years. It's not some joking around construction. It's a fucking 3-story deep hole in the ground that they're gonna be building a parking garage. I don't know how much noise there is right now there. Keep in mind we were doing the podcast there, but the amount of noise that is on the way as they actually build that, they build the underground thing and the above ground shit. It's terrible.
Damn, that's going to be a nightmare for all the
people. It feels like the store's
staying.
not even safe anymore, to be honest.
No, yeah. It's like there were holes in the wall. They tore down the next door, and there was a hole in our wall. You could see through it.
That's insane.
I remember that.
Anyway, that's reason number one. Number two, that block was lit when we moved in there. There was like a bunch of cool stores, a bunch of fucking restaurants, etc. They're all gone. There might be a few shops that are like kind of cool on that block, but basically that block has just fallen off in general. To be totally honest, the lit part of Melrose is the other end. Because on the other end, you got Round 2, you got Brooklyn Projects, there's like a bunch of little boutiques and vintage shops and everything over on that end of Melrose. When we moved to Melrose, the whole block seemed lit. Now it's like, damn, if we're gonna keep the shop going, we should do it on the other side of Melrose.
Melrose is constantly like that though, where it's constantly shifting for popularity.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, even now, there's like rumors that Supreme is leaving Fairfax. Nobody really knows if that's exactly it.
For so long.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but think about that. If Supreme leaves Fairfax, Fairfax is fucked up. Fairfax is gonna lose its luster because all those brands that want to be Supreme are gonna probably end up leaving.
All the tourists, where are they gonna go?
They keep trying to fucking push this arts district in downtown or the row.
Right.
They're not.
We'll see if
until they fix the homeless problem and the.
I fucking hate downtown. I'm sorry.
As a person who's like steadily graduated from downtown, like from that first store, it's like, no, I'm not going back downtown. Please don't make downtown cool again because I can't go back down there on a daily basis. Like it's I've seen too much.
It's not just downtown anymore. Like my parents, they don't live that far away from right here. And my mom told me that the other day when she went to the laundry room, there was 3 homeless people taking showers in the laundry room in West Hollywood.
What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like the homeless problem is like getting ridiculous.
Right.
Like it's like literally insane.
That's unrelated to closing down the shop though.
Okay,
But but I think those are honestly our 2 biggest reasons. I think that the other biggest reason too. Well, the air conditioner. Well, that was the thing though.
That's always been a fucking issue.
But the air conditioner broke in the summer and it was like intolerable. Like there are interviews that I'll go back and like listen to a little piece of it and I can hear the fucking weird fan audio in the back and I'm just like, yeah, it sounds terrible. But
and for safety reasons too.
Safety. It just had become too much of a thing. If I was gonna have another operation where it was a store and then we're working out of the back, it would just have to be
like padlocked.
Exactly. It would have to just be a different setup. It would just have to be like much more separation and like it's like I don't want to have fucking bunch of big security guards standing by the fucking door and shit. I just want to be able to like close the door, lock the door, preferably have it like upstairs. So I'm still like conscious of looking for different spaces like that, but for the time being we're also moving out of this space because this space, I mean, let's list off the complaints. You can't smoke weed. There's fucking Connie Chung clanking around up there with her heels.
Why does that be Connie Chung?
Because in my head, it's a woman in a pantsuit. I don't know if it's true. An Asian woman in a pantsuit. I don't know if it's true, but that's just in my head.
She's always clonking around up there. And then sometimes she brings her friends, and that's even worse.
That's true.
Listen, women be walking, and I'm just saying, she sounds Asian to me. The fact that, listen, we can't smoke weed in here. There's terrible noise, audio. I mean, it gets hot as fucking here, to be honest.
Yeah,
haven't really addressed that so much, unfortunately. But this is the weird thing is that we do have a warehouse in the valley that we've basically just been using as a warehouse up until now, but it has office space. So that's what we are doing right now is we are moving the podcast space to the warehouse, and then we also have the office space that we're going to be able to work out of. I honestly don't think it's going to cramp our style that much, and in terms of getting there, it's going to be
it means we have to move
pretty easy.
Twice though.
What?
Once to the warehouse and then once again after you guys find another location.
But we don't know because we're not sure. Like, because, like, to be honest, there was a space that we almost got in North Hollywood that was like a big like warehouse / office / studio space that we were gonna get. It would have been kind of a fucking headache because it would have been like too much space and it would have kind of stressed us out trying to fill that space with all the different things that we need. But it would have allowed us to like expand a lot and shit. So it would have been good in a way. But I mean, I'm totally okay with the fact that we didn't get that because it's kind of got my head on like.
But to be honest, the warehouse has a lot of space as well. Like you could definitely fit a bunch of shit in there. As for green screen stuff, the podcast area. And even probably an office area.
It's going to be a little odd just because we're going to be telling rappers to come to the warehouse, which is in the valley a bit more, which that I think will be okay. It's not that far. But the fact that it's just a warehouse and that they're going to show up and it's going to be like, oh, shit, this is really like a fucking warehouse space, huh? It's like, we'll see how nice we're able to make it. I think it's going to be cool. We're going to be able to smoke weed in there. So that's the best part.
Big. But a lot of studios are like that.
Their own section for the podcast stuff.
We're going to find a way. We'll make it look all right.
But make then a beautiful hallway that leads them to this
But
table.
It is weird because it's kind of like, you know, what if we saw a spot on Melrose like fucking next month or in like 2 months?
Right next to Round 2.
But the thing is too is that it's like I don't want to fucking driving downtown just to work every day. Or not downtown, but driving to Melrose every day to work. it's a little hectic. And also it's like, I don't want to be parking my fucking car outside just behind the shop on Melrose. I'm sorry. I just think I've gotten to a point in my life where that's not safe anymore. So it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Even if I had a dope spot on Melrose, I'm not sure that I would want to have us be working out of there 100%. I think I would probably get that like in addition to another space.
What's the vibe at the store and the surrounding area? Like, are there still kids that hang out outside and come by? Or
There's still some stragglers, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of weak now.
Yeah.
I just remember how lit it was.
You can tell how busy it is based off how many card player guys there are out on the street trying to finesse people, and you don't see the card player guys anymore.
What's a card player guy?
The guys who
they do the 3-card Monty with the little ball in the cup or whatever, and you get.
Seen those guys.
Oh yeah, they're like, no, they've been around for years, but they just are like straight con artists. And
I have a vlog where Wiggy, Lil Peeps, old music video filmer, loses like $500-600 to them.
What?
Yeah.
How much is he betting?
Virgo bands lost like $500 to the dude too, and then the guy fucking just dipped off, and Virgo was so mad, and Virgo's like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna get my money back. I'm gonna go keep playing, and we're like. The game is rigged, man. You can't get it back. He's just going to scam you again.
Even if you win, that dude has 3-4 homies that are across the street, and they're going to jump you and take their money back.
Why is there a phone on the ground? Whose phone is this?
Mine.
Wow, why was it on the ground?
It dropped, and I just let it stay there.
It's pretty rad
No
of you.
fucks given.
What is this, periwinkle?
Lavender.
Lavender. Somebody at home. Get that.
So
Do you have that color book, the chart?
No,
Did you guys
I don't.
see the actual location of the house that Pop Smoke was in?
No.
It's
I
scary
didn't, and I
where it
think it's
is.
weird that people looked at the address and look it up and see how far that they are from the house.
Well,
Why are you doing all that?
Dude, I grew up in in West Hollywood or whatever because I came here when I was immigrating a long time ago. But anyways, I know that area, and that house where he's at is like, it's scary that something like that happened right over there. Like literally that whole area is nothing but fucking millionaires, a bunch of huge houses that you would expect to have like security.
Those are the houses that people want to fucking rob.
The chick who owned it was like some famous actress or whatever, and she was just Airbnb-ing it to Pop Smoke.
Oh my fucking god!
Imagine that you buy a house, you do an Airbnb, and then like take the fact that Pop Smoke got killed there, and that's a tragedy. Think about just owning an Airbnb and then somebody just gets brutally murdered in it. That's got to be fucking like insane. Absolute worst case scenario.
Bro.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've
maybe somebody burns it down would be worse.
Some of those houses up there in the hills, you kind of start thinking like, if something were to happen up here, how long would it take for cops to come? It seems like the perfect place to commit a crime almost, because cops don't be patrolling the Hollywood Hills.
Because those crazy long hills going up the mountains are almost impossible. Could you imagine seeing a cop up there?
You're never going to see
There's no fucking service up there for half of it.
And some places it will take you 30 minutes of like curvy roads to get to to a house.
It's scary as fuck driving up those roads, and just weird because you're like thinking a car is going to come.
I know, and it's like there's only space for one fucking car, so you have to like pull over and.
And I mean. The thing I wonder though is like, a lot of times when people get killed in cities, it feels like there's so many cameras and there's so many like potential ways that they could get your license plate that people are just able to figure it out pretty easily. I just wonder to what extent that's possible in the hills, because at the end of the day, if they have like a description of what the car was, and like there's only so many roads that lead up into the hills, it's like, is there a way that they're going to be able to like go back through the cameras and find out by looking at the cameras? I don't know. But if this murder goes unsolved for a long time, that's going to be some crazy ass shit, because like when Nipsey dies, it's like, at least within a couple days, we knew exactly how Nipsey died. So there's not really like room for people to get that crazy with the conspiracy theories. If they never figure it out with Pop Smoke, it's going to look crazy. It's going to be like the Tupac and Biggie shit.
It's definitely like the Biggie shit, because like Pop Smoke, how much content has he released so far? Not that much. And he's on the way up. Kind of like how
Just
Biggie
put out his first album.
That's what I'm saying. Biggie was in the same position, right? Just put out his first album or something like that.
That's true. Pac had like 10 albums up by the time he got killed. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. But dude, yeah, I saw the place where that house was, and is
it really far up the hill?
No, it's like literally as soon as you make a turn into Laurel Canyon, it's like the first corner. It's like right there.
Laurel Canyon and what? Oh wait, you mean like off of Hollywood?
Like off of Hollywood, you make a turn into Laurel Canyon. Like one of the first roads to the right. It's like that house right there.
Holy shit, that's like a couple miles from my house. I had no idea it was that close.
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus
it's literally
Christ.
right there in Hollywood and Fairfax, or like where Fairfax turns into Laurel Canyon or whatever.
Then that sounds like they should have a lot of fucking cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like it, right? But at the same time,
insane.
there's actually a lot of small streets in the hills where, like, if you know what you're doing, you can, finesse your way around and like not be seen. To be honest,
I mean, the question is just what level of sophistication these dudes were moving at,
and where are they from and who are they?
I want to know what it was about so bad. Like R.I.P. Pop, because that honestly, like, got to hang out with him. Super cool guy. I was unbelievably like confident in where his career was going forward. But I want to know what the fuck makes somebody do that to you, because that shit's crazy. But people are reporting that he was canceling shows, that he actually was worried about shit. I mean, he was doing this gangbanging thing, but I'm sitting here assuming that that's New York politics, and then you come to LA, and for the most part, that shit don't matter.
Dama's live was saying that it might be linked to the Lamborghini he stole that was in Los Angeles.
No, I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either.
The Lamborghini was like, it was a official dealership or whatever, and they drove it across state lines because they didn't, I don't know, they didn't know that it was leased or something, and they reported to the cops. I doubt they're gonna report to the cops and then put a hit on him to kill him.
Dude,
it's not happening like
what's
that.
really crazy though is like before Pop's death is like, I feel like a lot of people who lived in the hills and just like a lot of people in general didn't have that much anxiety level, but because of these 4 dudes, I feel like everyone is like on their toes now thinking like, holy shit, anything can happen at any time, especially if you're like, more affluent.
I was watching some YouTube videos and they're saying, I mean, this isn't the first big case where someone gets murdered, but they rob the hills all the time.
They rob the hills, but this wasn't a robbery. When we were still open to the possibility that it was just a robbery, I don't think anybody was that freaked out, because like we all know, I mean, fucking YG and Draco the Ruler have made whole albums about going to people's houses in the hills and robbing them. Yeah. That's regular shit that we know that people do. If somebody had done that to Pop Smoke and Pop Smoke put up a fight and he got killed, we all understand it sucks, it's fucked up, but that is something that's pretty easy for us to wrap our heads around. The situation as has been laid out is completely different, because it looks like they just straight up murdered him.
Yeah, but do you think that people in the hills, these billionaires, should be scared that they're gonna get a hit on them? I don't think so.
Hell no. Just don't join the Crips and you'll be all right, lady. But listen, this is the whole thing about it, is that now everybody who lives up in fucking Hollywood Hills, etc., since I kind of am part of this fucking homeowner community now, we all have this app. We all have these fucking cameras outside our house, and you can just look at the fucking. I don't have it. I let Lana deal with it because she's the man of the house. But I want to get it at some point, and it basically just shows you. It'll show you any movement, any activity in your front yard. And I mean, okay, Trisha Paytas was telling us that she just straight up has like seen guys just like walk into her front yard, go to her car, open up the doors, look through, go through all her shit, not find anything, and then just walk out.
Jesus.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, we have a gate in front of our crib, so I think that's why we like don't have a lot of issues like this. But at the same time, I mean, if we have a package in front of our house, like now the Amazon Prime driver or whatever, he's able to get in, like there's a special code so that we know if it's him using the code, and that way he can bring our packages into the front door or whatever. But if we leave an Amazon package outside our house for like fucking an hour or two, like that shit is gone for sure.
Jesus Christ.
Really?
Wow.
It's crazy, honestly.
That's insane.
I mean, I'm so fascinated by it because I wonder, like, are these just dudes from like regular whatever neighborhoods, and they just like go to Laurel Canyon and then just drive around and just
pick up Amazon packages?
And the funny thing though is that on that Ring app or whatever, there's a fucking there's I don't know if I'm saying the name of the app right or not because I haven't actually used it, but the app will, like, people can basically do the equivalent of like social media posts saying like, this guy came to my house and fucking tried to rob my house and took a shit in the front yard, blah, blah, blah. So you can watch the little video clip of him doing that and see this dude, and it tells you that this is fucking 3 houses down from you. And I mean, it's just fucking weird to, like, you know that there's all these culprits in your fucking area doing stuff.
So this is an app that, like, people in your neighborhood all have so you guys can communicate. It's like a neighborhood watch
basically app. Yeah, it's like an app where you can just get alerted.
What's even scarier though is, like, in LA you can't really carry a gun with you. Can keep a gun in your house, but you can't carry it.
Speak for yourself.
True, I guess. You can't really carry a gun with you to protect yourself in situations like that.
Have you guys checked
yes, you can. In your home?
Citizens
you can
app?
have it in your home, yeah.
Citizens? What's that?
Yeah, that's the one where not our neighborhood watch, but it's like any person that lives in the city can report something happened. Like,
it's gone viral
car
a couple
on fire. Some funny ones were like, person on 3rd Street running naked with pencil.
Bosco said that he found out about the Kobe helicopter crash through Citizen app.
Kobe.
And that it said it was Kobe?
They said
Kobe
crash
Bryant
or something like that.
Helicopter crash.
Besco.
Bosco.
Bosco.
Yeah.
You talked to Bosco?
No, I just saw a video about him talking.
You watch
can't-
Bosco videos?
I can't
Randomly
imagine you
sometimes.
and Bosco being friends.
Hey Bosco, how you doing? Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, because with citizens for like really big events, especially like near you, they'll set an alert and like
I saw that there was a controversy online though because people were saying that app that I'm describing where you can just fucking
People can
communicate
hack
with your
into it.
neighbors. No, but people were upset because it was excluding the homeless community. I'm sorry, if you're in my neighborhood and you don't have a home there and you are homeless, I want to know what you're doing, especially if there's cameras in my fucking front yard and shit. I'm sorry, like, I mean, maybe we can make you a login, but I guess these conversations are happening without the fucking homeless. So
No, but he's
they think
entering
it's
onto
unfair.
he's entering onto your property with no invite.
Yeah, but I
So
feel like the
homeless or
controversy.
like not homeless.
But I
doesn't
think the
matter.
controversy might like okay in my neighborhood. If you are homeless in my neighborhood, then what the fuck are you doing? Because this is not a
You're
nobody
probably on
would
some-
want to be homeless here. But if you're in like San Francisco or like New York and you have like there's like homeless people sleep on the streets and like fucking walk around and shit and like people can be on those apps and basically be like, this guy's a fucking abuser. This guy did this. This guy did this fucked up thing. This guy's flashing his penis, whatever. And the homeless people can't get onto the app because you can only get onto the app if you have the cameras. And then
Well, to be honest,
they're not able to respond. It's like it would be like if on Twitter everybody
Oh,
was
okay,
able
I
to
see what
say,
you- I
"Hey
see
man,
what
you
you're
already
saying.
did this, and this," and then
But
you
they
were
can't
never
say
able to
anything.
respond. Which I mean, if you're homeless, like, do you really like maybe you have bigger things on your plate than
I
like
don't
what people
blame, I
are
don't
saying
blame
about you
the
on this
San
app? I don't
Francisco
know.
citizens for making posts like that though, because the San Francisco homeless people are like downtown homeless people times 10. They're all
no,
all
I
on meth.
totally agree. Yeah, downtown or San Francisco homeless are scary as fuck.
Yeah, the videos I've seen of like, dude, they have a huge meth like addiction problem out there, and
They're
they all
taking
know-
over the fucking city for sure. It's like, I
Exactly.
mean, I've seen stuff downtown. Like I know it's not cool to talk shit about the homeless, and you got to be respectful of the homeless. I have seen shit downtown.
It's like we live with it. It's
yeah.
you can't not talk about it like it doesn't happen. It's like just
Yeah.
on my way here when I went to go grab lunch earlier, there was some dude who was basically fully nude in a wheelchair wheeling himself across the street in front of me, and I was just thinking in my head like, holy shit, like I'm really desensitized to this at this point where like I just see
You
that.
saw it right over here?
Downtown is
Yeah,
fucking
literally
crazy.
right up the street, and I was
Oh,
just
you're
like,
talking about here.
yeah, right up the street from here, and I was just like thinking like, if this happened in like I don't know maybe Idaho or something, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Maybe I should call the cops. But out here in LA, you're just like, okay, let me wait for him to cross the street, and then I'll just keep going.
Right. No, that
Yeah.
was pretty much the reason why I moved out of downtown was like I went to go get a piece of pizza. I have my 2 pieces of pizza in my little box. I'm walking back to my apartment. I see some guy and he's kind of like hunched over and shit. And I'm like, what is wrong with that guy? What is he doing? And then I realized that he was puking and shitting at the same
fucking
time
time.
in the middle of the street,
Oh
a
my
half a block
God,
away from my apartment. We were at 6th and Spring, and this is just happening. And it was at that moment that I became aware of something, which I now consider kind of obvious, which is that if you have to see people defecate and vomit on the street outside of your home and you have to smell it and you have to think about the fact that your pizza is in some way being infected by this diarrhea air,
You probably shouldn't live there.
it's bad for your mental health.
100%.
It's not
Yeah.
ideal. It's like some people can thug it out, like okay,
Dude,
if you live in New York, you're gonna see some weird shit on the street too.
Yeah.
It's not the same as downtown. I've lived in all kinds of fucked up places in New York. It's nothing like downtown.
I can't even
it's-
imagine living on Spring Street.
and it's
Like the
also, like-
moment you walk out, it just smells like a fucking porta potty. There's people at.
I live not too far away from Spring Street, so I know what you're talking about.
And then
But,
it
yeah.
gets foggy. It gets misty.
Really?
And then you
Oh, that's so
realize
creepy.
that fog and the mist is the water that is and the liquids that are on the ground in a lot of ways
It's going in your nose.
becoming vapor and entering the air. And you're like, wow, it's foggy, but why does it smell so bad? And then you're like, oh, right, it's all those people defecating and shitting all over the streets. It's just,
dude.
it's in the air. I can feel it in the air.
And it's like not a problem you can solve with just by giving away money or setting up charities. It's like a bunch of people with mental issues, like lifelong, like
Yeah, what can you do?
traumatic problems. It's like it's such a huge, like
I
The
know,
obvious-
there's
it's
not
almost-
an easy
The
answer.
Yeah, it's
obvious
almost
solution
it's
does not
crazy.
work because if you were to build a shitload of fucking public housing
That-
for
yeah,
them,
exactly.
it's going to cost way too much. It's just not going to work.
it's
So.
gonna become places where the drug dealers go to visit.
I mean, the reality is that Skid Row, with all these people just being allowed to live on their own down there, is probably the best option that we have. And I say this as a person who's like been around it a shitload because what the fuck else are we gonna do? And I say this as someone who I've seen kids. I've seen fucking dudes like straight obvious homeless crackheads down there, just hanging out at Skid Row, 4-year-old kids sitting on his fucking shoulder. And that just makes it feel so much more real because you're like, dude, you're raising a fucking child down
Skid
here.
Row. That's so
Like,
sad.
there's kids who like they live in fucking tents downtown. Like, it's real shit.
100%, yeah.
There's this. I just started watching this new YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly. Have you seen it?
Cocaine
This
review
guy-
channel.
Yeah, exactly that from Skid Row.
That's a good idea.
No, some filmmaker guy just interviews people that live on Skid Row, and they just talk about what it's like to live
there's a
down
couple
there.
channels I've seen that do that.
Yeah,
Invisible People.
it's fucking
Exploitation.
insane. It's insane.
Does it feel
I don't
exploitive?
I don't feel like. I mean, I do feel like he is kind of creepy sometimes. He'll talk to like the prostitutes and be like, "You have very nice tits," or like,
What?
Very nice breasts.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but
That sounds very weird.
In other videos, I do understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to, they have stories as well that they want to get out.
Right. It's like that.
When else are we gonna be able to listen to someone speak about their Skid Row experience?
I mean, but focusing exclusively on the homeless down there seems kind of strange, right? Like, you got to talk to.
He's a strange guy.
I'm actually
Strange.
planning on possibly doing a 24-hour homeless stream.
I don't understand that.
Everything you do in your life, you want to somehow make it into a stream, including you're taking advantage of the homeless. Wait, where are you going to go?
It's not to take advantage. It's to show people what it's like. 'Cause
Where are you
I
going to
wanna-
go? Downtown?
Do not go to Skid Row.
You are
going
going to get your camera. You already got your camera stolen downtown.
I know exactly. That's why I'm saying I might want to do it either in Venice
Just
Beach
do it.
or
Just
like
do
Culver
it
City.
like in front of Adam's yard or something. It's
I
probably the
I will call the
safest
cops on
place
you.
to
The
go.
cops, if you tell the cops that I said it was okay, they're not going to believe you. They're going to say no.
I want to show people how difficult it is to like find a place to use the restroom when you look all crazy. Find a place to
But why?
Man.
just to show people. I don't know.
There's tons of videos of people that even the guy that pretend to be Travis Scott.
Well, just because it's been done once doesn't mean you can't do it again.
I
Just
suppose.
if you want to find a place that's really hard to go to the bathroom, don't go to Latte Larry's because they don't even have toilets. No.
What the hell is Latte Larry's?
How's a coffee shop not have a toilet?
You guys ain't watching Curb Your Enthusiasm? Fuck.
No.
All right. Well,
No, we don't watch Simpsons.
I know.
Or
I watched all of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but like
I've
years
never
ago, so I
watched
don't
it.
remember.
Logan and Mike are tripping because his interview's not out yet. I would never think that they would be so eager, but it's orange still. Is it still? I'm gonna look right now. I want to
What,
fucking.
they want their interview up?
Well, Logan's interview is supposed to come out, and it's gonna be old in like a fucking day or two. But it's still orange. Laura, can you check if it's been reviewed or not? It's still in the review. Oh, she's looking right now. We might just have to drop it. We don't know, but
It was a good interview.
yeah, that was a good interview. I like that interview. People are gonna get mad at me because I was asking Mike so many like upfront questions about him and his girlfriend.
I feel like he liked it though, because it's just like, how else are you gonna? You're not gonna
Yeah.
beat around the bush. It's like this is what everyone wants to know right now.
Yeah, I mean,
And he answered it well too. He I feel like he answered it in a way that's understandable, and he like put out the facts there and he said like, this is how it is. This is what people do. This is what my girlfriend seemed to do
listen,
on camera.
there's
so.
a big difference between your girlfriend getting gangbanged by 5 big ass dudes on camera and not being successful. And in his case, his girlfriend got gangbanged in the ass by 5 big ass dudes. #1 porn star in the world right now. And she doesn't even shoot anymore. She hasn't shot in years.
Doesn't even need to work for the rest of her life, probably.
I mean, she's got 7 million followers and she's fucking killing it. I don't know exactly what the fuck it is that people love about those scenes so much that they are just still
I feel like
jerking off to her 2-year-old scenes that she doesn't have to put out anything new. But I mean,
Is
hey,
it like royalties or something, or how do you?
yeah, she'll still get paid off of the. Well, actually, yeah, like on Pornhub and shit. I think that they should get a percentage. No, but usually porn stars just get paid a flat rate up front.
That's what I was
and
gonna
then
say.
that's
It's
what I'm
usually a lump
thinking,
sum.
you get paid a flat rate by the porn company, and then the porn company makes money off the like long-term Pornhub.
I feel like you
whatever.
should have asked Mike how he felt about being called a 3.
That is so funny. I forgot about that. She said he was a 3. She goes, "This is what happens when you give a 3 a chance."
I wonder how you feel move on the relationship past that, where you're just like,
Oh,
my
they're
girlfriend
still
thinks I'm
together?
ugly. Yeah, they're still together.
I mean, if you're Mike, you know that your looks are not the value that you're bringing to any given situation. You know?
What is the value he's bringing?
It's personality.
Okay.
So it's like he's not famous because he's a hot dude. He's just a
'Cause he
dude.
has a strong
You know, he
personality.
has a good personality. People like hearing him talk about shit. He's friends with Logan. That's basically what
That's the value?
But I'm saying like she's famous for being hot largely. So I mean, her saying like she gave him a Mike is not a 3.
I know she's being mean at that point. Obviously,
Mike
but
might be. I mean, he might be.
What's your rating?
let's
I mean, I
rate
don't know.
Mike.
I've never
I
rated
don't
a
really know
man
what
before.
he looks like.
That's
He's like a
cap.
5.
Do you think you're higher or lower than Mike on the scale?
I think I'm higher.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm good, better.
Purely looks.
Purely looks.
Nothing about the fact that he's like written a book and he apparently is like going to be successful.
Hundreds of $1,000s in his bank account and
well, allegedly, we don't know that.
Something like that.
Perhaps.
I think I'm a better looking guy than Mike.
I mean, if we were to
why is everyone getting quiet?
If we were to get like a ruler and measure your facial dimensions and everything, I feel like maybe you would. I guess like, but we're so not used to judging men like that. Like it's very easy for me to say like, well, women are more attractive than other women, but for me with you and Mike, I feel like you guys are both.
I think he just thinks that you guys are both ugly.
You might be better looking than him, but if it is true, it's only by a little bit.
I feel like we should ask. What do you mean? I feel like there's I don't think it's by a little bit. I don't think I'm barely winning the race there.
You don't think you're barely winning?
Are we comparing like muscle mass to like natural looks?
I think overall body has to be considered, but I think that facial structure has to be considered. I think Mike definitely has a more athletic build than you, but
what this guy looks
he
like.
also probably has more body fat. He has more body fat than you. He's got like a little bit of chunk, but he also works out a lot. You are just skinny as fuck.
Yeah, I'm just.
I just found out how much he weighs, and I was really shocked.
105.
I was shocked too, actually.
What is it?
I usually weigh 150, but I found out I weigh 138 now. Jesus Christ!
It's because you only eat Jack in the Box.
You know what's embarrassing? My girlfriend tells me that she thinks she's stronger than me.
Probably.
And I feel that slightly.
When was the last time
have you ever
bench pressed?
I hate working out.
You could probably just do the bar, and that would be really funny to see you just doing the bar.
Well, the 50-pound bar?
It's like 45, but yeah.
Oh my God.
Damn, I would love to do a vlog with taking you to the gym.
I'd be down, but I hate working out. Whenever I think about working out, I just think about a hamster on one of those wheels just fucking running in a circle.
Yeah, but the hamster doesn't like get better from that.
Skateboarding is like working out, kind of.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather do something where you're having a natural activity like indoor rock climbing or skateboarding.
Getting better at an act. But okay,
exactly, and building muscles.
Okay, but when I go to the gym, I might lift more or like heavier or more reps than the time I did before. It's about building upon something. The same way that when you go to the skate park, you might kickflip a 2-stair and then one day you kickflip a 10-stair. It's like
it just seems so mentally draining to me just to be there sitting like doing this for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I hate working out.
It's just like I'm like, bruh.
Number one, I've never gone to the gym and did this for 30 minutes, and I would argue that is not an effective use of your time in the gym. Are you fucking Ron Burgundy? 999, 1,000. Did you hear that? I did over 1,000.
That's what I imagine working out is like. Maybe one of these two.
Fucking.
I don't know.
Listen, I will take you to a trainer one day, and I will.
Yeah, working out with a trainer is a completely different experience than just doing this by yourself.
No, yeah. If you are someone, honestly, that's a good point. If you're someone who's never worked out, you need to either go work out with someone that you know who has worked out and is used to it, or you need to go to a personal trainer. Because if you are just going to try to go to the gym and be like, okay, I saw how you bench press on YouTube, I'm going to just go do it. It's like you could do it, but it's about the pace. It's about like really getting a fucking kick-ass workout and like really like just pushing yourself for that hour. Like by the end of my workouts, I'm soaked in sweat. Fucking muscles feel huge, gorged with blood. Then I'm in the shower and I'm just feeling so physically exhausted, but I feel so strong and I just feel like, holy shit, I just punished my body for an hour. I am ready to go to work and answer emails.
Jeez.
And have conversations on camera into a microphone. It's just like, you know, it's like it makes everything else seem easy after that.
Blasie's been going to the gym, right? He's been working out.
She probably made him.
He's doing a bet with his friends. Whoever loses the most amount of weight wins. So it's 3 people. They put in $500 each. So you make $1,000.
Just losing weight.
Yeah.
How long?
2 months or something. He's winning, I think.
See, that's the weird part is if I were to just purely be concerned with losing weight, then I would completely stop lifting weights and I would just fucking do cardio every day and eat very little. And like, that's not what I do. I feel healthy as fuck because I eat healthy.
I don't think that they're like measuring their body mass percentage and stuff like that.
Because if you just want to lose weight, fucking don't drink any water for a couple of days before you do the thing. You're gonna be able to like. You ever see how like UFC fighters like draining water before fights and stuff? It's insane. It's so dangerous. It's not good for you in any way. It's not like you're losing fat because you're not drinking water.
It leads to like liver problems too.
Right, and it'll make you weigh a lot less. But it's like I've never done that to weigh myself. Like what the fuck do I care what I weigh? It's just you know. Yeah. So basically, your boyfriend is in trouble. He's gonna have a hard time.
Why is he in trouble? He's doing
because
good.
he's gonna fucking dehydrate himself and he might not be okay.
No, he's doing a keto diet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Working out for him.
Is House Phone gonna be mad at me because I said that he was dead on my story?
I'm not
Oh
sure.
my
I wouldn't
gosh.
like that very much if you said I was dead.
Yeah, that is kind
But
of weird.
he seems to care about a lot of things
You
less
said
than
you
I
said
do.
he's either dead or JK. He's just sleeping at home.
I did correct myself right away,
Yeah.
but I don't want people to think that I'm really that okay with joking around about House Phone dying, especially since House Phone is constantly pretty much putting his body in the
Scary
position where
situations.
he could die at any given time.
Do you think so?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't like this.
I feel like House Phone has a better diet than I do.
Also, why'd you copy my hair?
I feel
Me?
like
I
This
feel
is-
like you
this-
could my hair.
No, this is becoming a different color next week. Just FYI.
I actually
this
like
is
it.
becoming blonde next week.
It spices you up a little bit. You're a little less stock.
Less
Less what?
Stock.
Stock. Like a stock image.
Like a car when you first get it, yeah.
Oh my god. You're customizable now, or you're customized.
Ew.
I mean, yeah.
I don't like
You're
this.
like a GTA character.
But there's a reason why everybody wants like Asian girls to have pink hair and shit.
What's the
Ew,
reason?
So
why?
they can be gamer girls, so they can stand out. It's like giving you a special like
I don't
boom.
like. I don't like fetishism.
You know, that's not fetishism.
It is fetishism.
Do you guys have any fetish? Or
But
like,
I'm
things they like?
fetishizing something that you're not. I'm fetishizing gamer girls. You're just trying to pull that look off.
I'm
No,
not trying to pull that.
You're being a
look off at
culture
all.
vulture.
With the
a gaming
brown-
culture vulture.
I
I'm
don't
a
know.
culture
I'm joking.
vulture.
you're a culture vulture because you have a petition to get on this podcast.
I
Can
didn't
we
start
talk
that.
about that?
I
And can we
didn't
talk
start
about
that.
how that is the link in his bio?
I linked it. Okay, I didn't start the
And he's
petition.
sending it to everyone. He's
Zaya-
sending it to everyone to
Zaya-
sign it.
Sending it to Zane Lowe.
Zaya started the petition, and then I felt like, okay, if someone in my Discord took the time to start this petition, 50 people had signed it. I was like, I'm gonna take the time to put the link in my bio.
Is it a change.org
And
one?
now it's at 107
the one
Change,
where
so no jumper show?
the one where like the president has to like speak on it if it gets to like 1 million.
No, they just want to add me to the no jumper show, I guess. But I feel like people
Well,
would get
you know what you
bored
should
and
do?
retire
You
me
should
eventually.
just you need to just what's the word? I don't want to say it, I guess kill House Phone. That's the only way.
I mean, she has a point that
You know?
Real, well,
or just
I don't know.
sabotage
Should
him.
House Phone and I set up
Sabotage
a
him like you
boxing
did
match?
with my show.
So
No,
we like
listen,
fight to whoever
with my
stays on the
YouTube.
show.
If something happened to House Phone, which I'm going to feel really bad about because it's almost like we're like fucking willing it into existence by bringing it up over and
No,
over.
definitely not.
But I don't think we would want to replace him with a famished Russian man. I think we would probably want to. The thing that makes sense about House Phone is that House Phone knows about rap, is from LA, is actually like in the scene. He
I'm
knows
not
it.
from
And he's
LA.
awesome,
I've been
and he's our
friends.
friend.
Yeah, but he's been friends with for a long time. It's like he brings something logical to the podcast. Gary is. I mean,
on time every day.
Well, okay, you're on
Yeah,
time.
you do that. Wait, why
You don't
did you
do
become
ketamine.
a famished
I
Russian
know.
kid?
I was actually just telling my girl the other
You
day
look
that
famished,
people are constantly making comments about how skinny I am, and I feel like it's slowly getting to me.
and you don't.
You know what? It's okay. I've been there.
But are you someone who has insecurities about being too skinny previously?
I never had insecurities about being skinny, but it's
You've
like
always been
it's
skinny
like a
ever since I knew
reoccurring
you.
theme where like, every time I
I
meet
can't
someone,
believe you swindled your way into being here, and you're sitting with us.
swindle.
And I'm allowing it. Yeah.
How'd I
Yes, I
swindle my way
remember when
here?
you were like the weird random kid in the back of the.
I mean, he's still a weird random kid. There's
Yeah.
nothing that's happened here has really changed that.
Yes, he's like has a change.org petition to
with
be
the
a part of
107
this fucking.
signatures.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind blowing, but you know what?
I don't
Good
know.
job. You have a girlfriend that you met through this thingy, and
Ugh, we're all weird.
I know, right?
We're all Ice Poseidon. We are all Ice Poseidon. Hashtag. Wow.
Bring back Ice
what does
Poseidon
this
to you,
come
too.
from? Like spaghetti arms?
I mean, at least Ice made it up. Yuri just shamelessly jacked it because he has no personality of his own.
I try to
That's
tell
not
him about
true. I
it, and
feel
he
like I have a
says, "What are you
personality."
talking about? I've never done that in my life."
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you're so CX that
Lame.
it's in your fucking blood. It's so weird. And it's so weird because it's like, myself, like I had like shared cultural communal things that I went through. I watched TRL. I watched those Backstreet Boys videos over and over. I don't know why. I didn't like them. I just watched them. But me and
Love
everybody
Backstreet Boys.
else from my age group, we have that. We all remember watching Fred Durst. We all remember watching the fucking
Nookie.
VMAs, some bullshit like that. Yuri, you're gonna be 30, and people are gonna be like, "What were you doing when you were 23?" And you're gonna be like, "I was watching this guy Ice Poseidon on YouTube every day." And they're gonna be like, "What was he doing?" And you're like, "I don't even remember. He was just
No.
walking around."
I'm gonna show them my YouTube channel with my vlogs showing how cool of a lifestyle I was living.
156,000 views on a day in the life of Hesh and asterisk A.
I've done some building climbing videos. I've done a bunch of stuff. I have over 350 videos posted, like 10-minute videos posted
Well,
on
good job.
YouTube.
Do you
Proud of you.
feel demotivated to make content because you don't get that many views, or does it motivate you because you feel like if you make more content, you will steadily work your way up the ladder?
To be 100, for a long time, it wasn't demotivating. For a long time, I was just, happy to be producing content, happy to be learning how to film and edit and do all this stuff. But after a while, after you like post videos for a while, it does get demotivating when you're filming for 5-6 hours, spend 4 hours editing, and then you post a video that gets 60-70 views. It gets really demotivating. And
I
you're just
remember
like,
I asked you that question before, and you were so like happy-go-lucky about it.
it changed after like I said, at first you're really motivated, but after like 300 videos and you're still at 50 to 100 views, you're just like, bro, like I'm kind of tired of this.
And is it kind of weird because it's like if you're someone who has no connections, then it's kind of like, well, you got to make connections, but it's like you are associated with No Jumper, so it's kind of like you would think that more of the fans would make their way over to your channel and actually watch the shit by now, and like you see a lot of comments about you on here, but apparently they're not actually engaged in that. But it's weird because it's kind of like even me, I put out a video the other day that was like a iPhone vlog, and then it ends with a poker tournament. Now I know that like people are not that enthused about me doing a BMX vlog or a poker tournament, but the video got like 20,000 views, and I was like, wow, that's like really bad for me. Like, but the other thing too is I dropped it on a Friday night and didn't even think about it. I dropped it late on a Friday.
And it's on your other channel.
Pretty much the worst. And well, it's on my other channel, but my other channel still, like most of the videos on there have like 100,000 views. This one just did dog shit, but I think it was the Friday night that really doomed
Probably, yeah. Posting schedule, posting time. And when was the last time you posted? Maybe kind of like...
I hadn't posted in months.
Yeah, that probably like affected you as well a little bit. Where like,
there
some
already
people
like
didn't get the notification.
Yeah, there are like... I notice when I'm driving stuff consistently, then it tends to do better, but if I fucking fall off...
But like I was telling Camgirl the other day... I was posting before I started live streaming. I had posted over 300 videos, and for those 300 videos and like I think like 3 years of work or a little bit more than 3 years of work, I made maybe $150 for that amount of work.
Even that you wouldn't be able to make now because you wouldn't even qualify for monetization, right?
No, now I still qualify for monetization.
You are qualified now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But ever since I started live streaming,
right.
I only started live streaming like 3-4 months ago, and I think I made like $700 live streaming. So it's pretty like crazy, like the difference in posting YouTube videos and just being more interactive with your audience and live streaming.
It's weird for me because if I go on live stream, I will make more money than I will make doing any interview. But if I only did live streams, people would hate me. And if I do interviews, people are happy and thankful that I did the interviews because they're actually popular, And it's kind of like a weird give and take where it's like I go on live stream like not that often at all.
But live streaming is the content of the future where it's just way more interactive, I feel like.
Kinda, but at the end of the day, if you live stream for fucking every night for a year, your channel still doesn't have anything on it. Whereas if you make a video once a week for a year, you've got 52 uploads sitting right there that can still get views and still whatever, so it's kind of...
But your VODs are still up, though.
Can you just keep the
That's what I was going to bring up is I think the reason why my channel isn't growing so much is because I'm more focused on the live streaming. I haven't been posting videos, and I might have to change my YouTube channel name to something easier to spell,
Wow, thank you.
Other than
After I told you for how long I've known you.
I think Harmonious Man is a bad branding take.
Yuri is a cool name.
If I just change it to Yuri?
Yeah. You could just be known as Yuri, not Harmonious Yuri.
I like Yuri Nation. I think that's funny. Like if your channel was Yuri Nation, I find that's funny to me.
Oh my god, dude. I'd be embracing the thing that I was clowned on the most in middle school.
Yeah, that's
people
made
fun of you that much.
Bro,
for that?
I remember it really affected me. I was in middle school.
I like the tarded one better.
You're retarded?
Yeah, I like that one.
Why is my name so clownable? It's like, whatever.
I don't know.
It's unique, so it's fine.
Yuri.
I almost feel like we talked about like one topic. I'm totally okay with that. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, but
we talked about a lot of stuff.
I felt like I was going to talk about things I did this weekend. Oh yeah, I went to the Lakers game. That's it.
Why'd you do that?
My family, me and my girl got.
Why'd you do that?
Because he's not a fan of basketball.
No, yeah, but me and Lena got tickets for my mom and dad, and then we all went together, and it was Boston versus LA, which is where I'm from, roughly.
And even if you're not into basketball, just the experience of going to a game is fun.
I've never been to a basketball game.
Who
are you rooting for?
I was gonna.
You said both.
I rooted for whoever won. Yeah, and LA won by 1 point, so I was happy about that. Honestly, I was rooting for both of them. Like I honestly was like, kind of like holding back on cheering for LA because to me, I feel like I should root for the Celtics.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
I really don't give a fuck. And I was,
You can't indulge in any of the good snacks or beers or anything though, because you're on your diet.
I didn't know. Yeah.
That sucks.
I
That's
drank a little bit of my mom's coffee.
That's one of the best parts of the games though, is like getting a hot dog and shit.
The snacks suck dick, dude. The fucking
what
the
kind of snacks
food
they
at
sell
Staples
at,
Center is trash, and you gotta wait in the longest lines if you want to get that shit.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there's an experience behind it where you're just like, these nachos
I feel like
at the
isn't
game.
the baseball game food better?
I don't know. I've
'Cause they
never,
have
I've never been to a
micheladas.
basketball or a baseball game.
Last time I went to a baseball game, it was with my parents, and I drank a bunch of Bud Light because I was so bored, and I got drunk, and it was awkward.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I'm glad that I don't drink around my parents anymore. We had or I don't drink at all because I pretty much haven't drank in like fucking almost 2 years.
Whoa.
You should do a shot live stream.
You should do $1 shot.
$1,000 shot. $1,000. I'll take one shot. Because I mean, drinking is.
If you got $20,000 donations, would you come through with the 20 shots?
If I do 20 shots, I'm going to the hospital. Nah, I don't know. Well, how long do I have to do it? Because that's the funny thing about you is you'll have to take 6 shots, but you have to take it in 15 minutes.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I kind of. I
Do you ever throw up?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is something I do sometimes on live streams where I'm not sure if this is cheating or not, but
You
I'll
put water.
I'll
mix
no,
water.
I'll take the shot and then I'll go to the bathroom and puke instantly, and then I'll go back to my table.
That does not sound safe.
It keeps me from getting too drunk.
What
You
a-
go like this and
What a
like.
life. What a
you
life.
going
I do that. Is that a little too hectic?
I mean,
Everyone's getting really
Very-
quiet now.
it's just
Yeah, it makes me
so
worried about you.
strange, Steven. Okay, weird, obvious question. You know that puking is bad for you?
Is it?
I mean,
Are you kidding me?
you're
It
causing
feels
your-
awesome.
It's really bad
Your
for you.
stomach acids are coming back up from your stomach and fucking getting into your mouth on your teeth. There's a reason why girls who puke all the time, who have eating disorders,
It's
why
really
it's
bad.
really bad for them.
Ah,
So just something to think about.
maybe I should calm down.
Because you
on
know
this
how
thing.
when you puke and it tastes all funny and
Yeah.
stuff, all of that is
To
coming
be honest,
back up.
for me, puking
That's
feels awesome. It
supposed to
feels like you're like
stay
taking
right
a fat
here.
dump. You're just like, I feel fresh now.
It is not like taking a fat
Oh,
dump.
I never
Everyone
feel that
has
good
to
after
take
throwing up.
shit. Everyone has to poop. You do not have to puke.
Moral
In
of the
fact,
story: I need to stop these drinking
I
streams.
probably
have to
haven't.
switch or something
I
else.
probably haven't puked all year.
Really?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I've been
You said
sick.
you said you didn't drink all of last year, which is crazy.
That is insane.
There was
That
a
is-
couple of nights where I had like maybe like 3 drinks, 4 drinks, something like that. But I didn't
But
have.
you didn't get like drunk.
I never had a hangover. And to be honest, 2018 was like not far from it. Like 2018, I think I got drunk like a couple times, but 2019 I didn't do shit.
Yeah, I
And
think
2020 I'm fine too.
2019, I got drunk like maybe once, twice.
I'm fully planning on not drinking at all in 2020, and I've been to Vegas already at least once.
Love
And
Vegas.
that's
Drinking is
tempt
such a
me.
good time sometimes, though.
It ain't worth it the
Depends.
next day. But you're young. You're a superhero. You
Well,
your
that-
body
You
will heal.
sound so old right now.
That
I know.
that night I killed an entire bottle of Tito's. I had no hangover the next day. I woke up
Because you're a
perfectly fine.
child, yeah. But
Jesus
you're actually
Christ.
too old to be saying that. Aren't you like 25?
I'm 25, yeah.
That
That's
to
should be
me,
when you start.
I'm about to turn 26 in a couple months too, which
I
I
feel like
really
maybe
bad
it's gonna
about.
go like this for you.
Thanks.
26, yeah. Because like, how does it feel knowing that you're gonna be 30 soon?
Feels shitty. I'm not gonna lie. Especially since like my girl's like 5 years younger than me. She's like, "You're old." I'm just like, "Thanks."
She's
like,
20 and you're
Yeah,
25.
but
How
you
is
can-
that?
22.
You can
I mean,
only
she's
get-
20, she's
22.
3. I'm sorry, 3.
You
I don't know why I said
can't.
5.
You can't date a girl who's your age or older. They won't.
Wait,
Why?
she's 23.
She's 22. I'm sorry.
22. Okay.
I meant I'm 3 years.
I'm
older than her.
surprised. She's older than what I thought you would be able to get.
What's that supposed to mean?
Cause
be
'Cause-
able to get. You seem like the dating fresh out of high
I
school.
cannot-
type.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I cannot date a
'cause that's
person who
the kind of
hasn't
per-
had a job and hasn't had any
She has
responsibilities.
a job.
Yeah.
She went to college, finished college, and now has a job.
She dropped out of college,
Why?
but she'd spent 2 years there, so that's enough time. I feel like.
What was she studying?
Wait, did you go to
You don't
college?
know. You don't care. I don't
No,
care.
I didn't go to college.
Then
I
wait,
don't
why,
remember.
why does your girlfriend have to go to college?
She doesn't have to.
Oh, I thought you said that.
No.
I mean, it is kind of.
She has to have a job. Not
But
a
yeah,
job. She has to have
guys-
work experience, is what I'm saying.
You're confident that she
Mm-hmm.
does not have a sugar daddy?
Yes.
Have you thought about it?
I've thought about it, and I even
Why are you
had
sighing real loud?
because it's a thought I've thought about a lot. You know what I mean? It's like it's a long distance relationship. She's we spend a lot of time
And
away
you
from
don't
each other.
know her. That's the thing.
It's not. I wouldn't say I don't know her because I've already spent a lot of time with her. She spent
no,
a
but
whole
you
week
don't
at
know
my
any.
house.
Okay, but you don't
You
know.
need to meet her
like,
friends.
Exactly.
You need to meet her parents. You need to meet her exes. You need to have a sit
don't
down
I don't
with
want to meet her
everyone.
exes,
do
but
all
I'm gonna
that,
meet her
but-
family. Like I think within a week or two. So
Have
Listen.
you met anyone that's like is friends with her before she knew you?
no. But that's
That's
because
creepy.
she lives not here.
I want to tell you
That's
something.
creepy.
When I lived in Brooklyn and I was moving to California, I met this girl right before I left Brooklyn, right? And we dated for maybe a week. It was really intense and really passionate. But I just knew her. Like I was only talking to her. I kept talking to her for like maybe a month, 2 months, and I went back and visited her back in New York. But this time I was staying at her apartment. Previously, she had been staying at my apartment, so I'm staying at her apartment, and I realized I didn't know anything about this fucking girl. She had a completely different fucking like social life world. There was no chance that me and her were gonna work out.
Really?
But I only didn't know that because I had only hung out with her. And when you're just hanging out with her, you could say whatever, you could do whatever. But when you see the way she acts around her friends, then you get to actually realize what she's really like.
I see what you're saying there.
Also,
I don't think he's saying that it's not going to be able to work out, but I'm
You
just
could get
trying
more
to
information.
say,
You guys feel like I'm moving too quickly emotionally.
100% you're moving too quickly. You met her one time and you were like,
I met her a couple times, like 2 times.
no, I'm not saying that you shouldn't at least try to be in love. I'm just saying that. But I mean, one thing I will say that is good too is that you guys, I guess, have gotten blackout drunk together, which I think that that's like a good thing to do with someone if you're trying to figure out how your relationship is going to go. Because a lot of people become fucking psychos as soon as they get drunk as fuck.
That's true. We woke up in the next morning and like, what the fuck happened last night?
So you didn't even remember.
Yeah, we both of us have no memory.
You might have beat her.
Really?
No, I would never hit a woman in my life.
Okay, good.
I just think that you should try to get the full scope of who she is.
Well, she's gonna meet my parents next week when she's coming, and then I'm gonna
Has
meet.
she met any of your friends?
Yeah, a couple. She
I
met
feel like
house
you
phone.
try-
She had a whole
I
conversation.
feel like you
house
try
phone.
to safeguard her away from like these people.
No, no, I don't.
Do you think she takes shits?
And then do you not let her sit on the
ask her to
bed?
measure one.
Ew.
Should I fart in front of her and test our relationship?
I farted in front of Lena at night 1, so yeah.
But you guys have
Why
been
do you
together
want
for
her
a
to
long time.
measure her poop? I don't know. Where does that come from? Like, what part of your brain?
I think we could learn a lot about her from measuring a turd.
Wait, before they disconnect?
Ew.
Yeah, I would like to actually take like a string that has like the inch marks on it, and then maybe I'll have like a wire poker, and I
No.
can kind of like, because like if her turd is curved, I still want to be able to mostly get an accurate representation, so
But
I want to know what's going on with her digestive tract.
What would that tell you though?
This has been the No
Yeah,
Jumper Show. Thank you very much to my co-host, Cam Girl, my one-time only co-host, Yuri.
Don't sign the petition.
I don't know. Is Yuri able to take over for House
Hell
Phone?
no.
Little House Phone, the rapper?
I don't know. It's big shoes to fill.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
We are gonna be listening to your music after, so tune in. Haha.
I'm going to go home and hang out with Lena the Plug. So shout out to everybody who watched this.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
y'all.
Thank you for letting me
Thanks,
be on the show
guys.
again. Thank you so much.
RIP.
It was a good
Pop
time.
Smoke.
A nice 2-hour episode.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It flew
very
by.
cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We still have to take a photo, right?
Yeah. Can you press stop
Good
streaming?
thinking. Good.